Hello, lovely chat. We're a stream today, which means I dragged my shitty ass out of bed today. I mean, actually, it more likely means that I, like, dragged my shitty ass to stream today, but, you know, I can't sleep that long. It's really rough. I don't like it. I mean, no, sleep's rough. It's really boring. Hi, YouTube people. Live chat, not top chat. Top chat censors the people. Sleep's this really weird thing where I can't learn new shit, and I have to rehash old shit, which is fucking annoying, because I like learning, and I find an opportunity to learn to be the most tragically boring, dull, and unpleasant part of existing. So I can't put new shit in my brain. I can rehash stuff. So my lucid dreaming ass can grab a whiteboard in my dreams. Okay, cool beans. Great, nice. I have a whiteboard in my imagination. And, you know, I can do math in my head. I can have a whiteboard and do math. Great. I can go over how the universe works. Great. But I can't do new shit. And that's really boring. So I don't like it, and it's not very fun. And I don't like it. So sleep sucks. Awake's cool. Hi. I've been fucking with Kubernetes today. I got a one-node cluster on my desk. I was gonna say in the closet, but on my desk. I'll be doing free IPA for my whole house off of it, and mostly services that run off of it. So that's fine and fun. Cute little local area network. Cute little fucking VPN just on it. Not a VPN to like tunnel my traffic to gosh knows where, but a cute little VPN to tunnel my traffic to it and through it, because I'm gonna put this little one node to its fucking chores. I'm pretty sure it's got like 32 gigs of mem. Free TAC H says I have 32 gigs. Oh no, I have, what? Hold on. Yeah, I have 32. No, I have 27. Well, this is a liar. I have to take it apart and put my RAM in later. I have this cute video about the slug burger, a 5-cent burger that fed Americans during the Great Depression that we're starting to stream to while I start Mega Boink. So we're gonna be boinking. Cloud out of date. I will be right back. Let's toss you lovely goobers on some brief AFK tints. Nothing too much, just a loop of Dr. Disrespect saying don't be a fucking pussy, and Katie Quism saying some funny shit. She said, wait, there's a few things in my fucking, like there's a few things that aren't in here where, you know, folks might say, like not even Emily said, like don't clip that, and it's somewhere, I just don't know where it is. I can go find it. Let me go find it. Let me just toss it in AFK tent. I don't give a fuck. Let's go to oldest. Let's just scroll. Scrolling. I'll put this in there too. That's fine. I'll put Igloo being silly in it. Great. So I guess we're like curating AFK tent for the next little bit. A little cat saying I love you. Yep, that's what I was looking for. Add to playlist. AFK tent. I'll end up bulking out AFK tent at some point, but like today, you don't get that. Today, you just get me being a shithead. Lol, okay. AFK tent. Let's go.
Intention is nothing, because the outcome is the same. That's on me as an adult, a husband, and a father.
You know how we run things here.
So, simply defraud. Oops. There we go.
Don't be a pussy.
Intention is nothing, because the outcome is the same. That's on me as an adult, a husband, and a father.
You know how we run things here. Don't be a pussy.
Intention is nothing, because the outcome is the same. That's on me as an adult, a husband, and a father.
You know how we run things. Don't be a pussy.
Intention is nothing, because the outcome is the same. That's on me as an adult, a husband, and a father.
You know how we run things. Don't be a pussy.
Intention is nothing, because the outcome is the same. That's on me as an adult, a husband, and a father.
You know how we run things. Don't be a pussy.
Intention is nothing because the outcome is the same. That's on me as an adult, a husband, and a father.
You know how we run things. Don't be a pussy.
Intention is nothing because the outcome is the same. That's on me as an adult, a husband, and a father.
You know how we run things. Don't be a pussy.
Intention is nothing because the outcome is the same. That's on me as an adult, a husband, and a father.
You know how we run things. Don't be a pussy.
Intention is nothing because the outcome is the same. That's on me as an adult, a husband, and a father.
I had to hit my desk to unpause it. My camera broke.
Sit down.
Oh shit.
That is really not well done.
Wait, what is this? Oh, that's just the whole React? I can leave this. No, we're leaving that.
No, you cannot start making these claims. God damn it, Jaxie! I'm hostile. You lie and gaslight me all the fucking time.
I feel like Igloo molding out goes really well to any song from Stellar Blade, let's be honest. But definitely Dawn. Like, Igloo being mad sounds good to anything, honestly, but to Dawn it sounds like a good morning coming in. It's nice. Anyway, Steam Cloud synced. I had to fucking force quit this shit. That's fun.
No, you cannot start making these claims. God damn it, Jaxie! I'm hostile. You lie and gaslight me all the fucking time. You degenerates, reprobates, and miscreants fuck with me all the time. Always mess with me.
I love that he says, you miscreants. Oh, he just calls me miscreant.
You degenerates, reprobates, and
miscreants.
All
fuck
the
with
time.
me all the time, he says.
Always mess with me.
So mad.
Always. Fucking
irrationally mad, one might say. So his words are bullshit, clearly.
Let me remind you.
Because he's irrationally mad. And that's how you can invalidate someone's feelings in an instant. Just say they sound angry or like they have emotions, and then you just ignore everything they say. Which I'm doing to Igloo right now. Igloo's not here to defend himself, so I can do everything I want. No one can stop me. Try it, see what happens. See how that goes. See how that goes. It wouldn't. I would just keep on being a belligerent. Now, mind you, I adore Igloo very much. Lovely homie. Outstanding person. Treats me like family. Which is why I do this. I do this because I care. Because I can. And because it's so fun to hear Igloo mad.
You cannot start making these claims. God damn it.
You cannot start making these claims, goddammit.
I'm hostile.
I'm hostile?
You lie
and
gaslight.
Bro, this man, he says all this shit and expects me to take him seriously? I don't gaslight him. And I quote, you lie and gaslight me. Bullshit. When have I lied or gaslit anybody? I'm adorable.
You degenerates, reprobates, and miscreants fuck with me all the time. Always mess with me. Always fucking making me paste horses. No, let me remind you.
I have never made him paste horses.
No,
and
you
if I did,
start making these claims.
If I did, it would have been purely around Vosh leaking his taxes folder where he wanted to be a horse. Anyway, so we're going on to this lovely video, the Slug Burger, a 5-cent burger that fed Americans during the Great Depression. That sounds cozy. That sounds like our kind of jam. Let's timestamp it. Now let's go play Mega Boink. Let's go play Mega Boink while we let this play for 15 minutes. I've been playing without you all. I have no shame. I've been playing around like lovely motherfuckers. Unknown title, unknown channel? You've gotta be fucking with me, bro. I am not about to fucking... Nope. Unknown title, my ass. Unknown channel, my ass. CowboyKentRollins. We're gonna make sure we attribute this man appropriately, because if my automation is about to fucking try to cuck this man for his fucking attribution, excuse me, I'm too cool.
Just wrote in. Got some fan mail from Mac. Well, this is just for effect. He sent us an email but I want to read it to you.
How is this man so adorable? Bro, he printed out an email and put it in an envelope and even announces it's just for effects and it was an email. How cute do you have to be as an old man to like get a hug? See, this is the kind of old geezer I want to turn up to be. I really idolize those nice old women that say that they're like 90 and the only wrinkle on their body is their pussy. And I like this dude. I want to be a crass old person that talks hella shit.
I've lived in Florence, Alabama for over 20 years, living close to the Mississippi, Alabama, and Tennessee area. We grew up eating a burger, everyone called slug burger. It originated in Mississippi during the Great Depression, and I wanted to share this with you in case you'd like to give it a try and maybe
How is this so adorable?
even like to make a video out of it to share this unique burger and a little bit of Southern history with the others. Hey, Mac, that's a great idea, so let's do it, you want to? Ribeyes, prime rib, big old steaks of any kind, they always got all the glory. But folks, let's look back on history a little bit and look at this slug burger, because it's what helped the nation survive during the Great Depression and the Dust Bowl, and I can't wait to try it out. Now our story begins down south, in the railroad town of Corinth, Mississippi, right around the 1910s. A man named John Weeks rolled into town after spending some time up north in Chicago. Now he wasn't a fancy chef, just a hard-working feller who knew how to make a dollar go a little bit farther. While up in Chicago, John had learned a trick from German immigrants, folks who knew how to stretch meat in lean times. They'd grind in fillers like breadcrumbs, potato flour, even soy.
Honestly, if you want to learn cool culinary tricks, I'm not telling you to be prejudiced, I'm just telling you where to look. You want to learn cool culinary tricks, you want old Polish women, old Italian women, and just everyone from Germany that is like old as fucking dusty. Like, I swear to fuck, they will teach you the most baller shit to do in the kitchen. Like, this is coming from a broad who's been given the calling people the P word card, and I still refuse to do it. But, you know. I do have friends that like announce themselves as, and I don't know why they tried to give me that card. I think it's because I can actually pronounce Polish names. I think that's why. I think they're just so surprised that any American can do like phonics for Polish names, and they probably shat their breeches. That makes sense. I'm gonna go with that. Maybe they have a different reason. I'll ask them in like a month or a week or a year or something. But I think that's the reason. I think they shat their breeches because there was some American broad who can pronounce their fucking names. They're beautiful fucking names.
Meal and blend them with the meat. John brought that know-how back to Mississippi. He set up a burger stand and started mixing ground beef with soy grits, sometimes cornmeal or flour. Instead of grilling up these patties, he'd deep fry them until they were crisp and golden on the outside. They called it a slug burger. Now, slug, back in them times, was slang for a counterfeit nickel. And for just a slug, you could walk away with a hot burger and maybe a bottle.
Wait a minute. So, the whole reason it's called a slug burger is because counterfeit money? Is the Secret Service on this? Does the Secret Service know? Are they gonna crack down on CowboyKentRollins? Easy sub, easy like, by the way.
Bottle of soda pop too. You know, food back then didn't just feed your stomach. It fed your soul. It gave you hope, helped you get through the dark times. Now, before we get into this slug burger, let's talk about an old meal that always was at my table when we were growing up, but a side dish back during the Great Depression and these dark days. What was it? Copper pennies. Well, didn't take long to chop them up. And did you see how that hash knife works so easy? You just roll it around there. Therapy for your soul it is. We did a video not long.
So I'm a really big proponent of following the teachings of Mr. Alton Brown. Nothing in your kitchen should be single use. I can see a lot of uses for a hash knife, and it is not just potatoes. Like y'all.
Well, didn't take long to chop them up. And did you see how that hash knife works so easy? You just...
I'm just gonna keep rewinding the hash knife part. It looks really pretty and I want one kind of bad. And like, let's be fair, if I'm not allowed one in the next 30 seconds, I'm afraid I might revolt. Not against any nation, not against a people. Just, I'll start being revolting. I'll start smelling bad. I'll start talking more shit. I want this. I don't think I want another knife, because I have my chef's knife, my cleaver, and my little petite cleaver. And the big cleaver's for purple cabbage, which is my favorite thing to render on down. But like, y'all, I sharpen my knives after every use. Like, okay, I've been slacking on the chef's knife for over a month now, I'm gonna be honest. And I did start reaching for the petite cleaver. I forget the name of it. It's lovely. I love it. It's amazing. I don't even have fancy knives. I just take care of them. My grandfather taught me how to sharpen them. Never forgot. Best lesson. Love that man. Wish he was here to see my sharp-ass knives. My sharp-ass knives that can go through paper without any fucking tearing.
Well, didn't take long to chop them up. And did you see how that hash knife works so easy? You just roll it around there. Therapy for your soul it is. We did a video not long ago on old tools that Cookie had. We still use that on the wagon all the time. We got all them carrots in there. And I remember my mother always told us...
Like, if I ever have to pack a backpack to go somewhere, I'll get a hash knife and put it in it. But if I'm like just chilling at home, I'm gonna keep my current setup. But if I ever have to like go somewhere and do something, like if I ever get to go kayak camping or go to the woods where the forest and the wood meets, I'll get a hash knife. I'm gonna break down fucking roostical as fuck looking onions out of the ground. Holy shit. Chives are gonna look like shit, but fuck, will they taste pretty. Like, you want to bruise them a bit. You want to tear them. You don't just want to cut them. You want to, for certain things, you want to cut them cleanly. And other things, like chives, onions in some cases, you might actually want a very rustic and brutal cut, so you actually do cause crushing around some cells, so it's more aromatic. So, honestly, I kind of want this fucking hash knife. I keep thinking about it.
Whiz little. You know, I can get y'all to eat carrots out of a roast, or I can fix them this way and y'all eat them like dessert. To me, this was sort of like a dessert, because when you got this all made, you could take a biscuit and sop that juice that was on these carrots. Oh my gosh, it didn't get no better than that. But we'd grow them carrots at home in the garden. Mama always had a big one, and she'd put them up sometimes fruit jars, they'd be in the cellar. But when she'd pull them fresh right out of the garden and she'd make copper pennies, you could smell it in the kitchen when you come in there. Oh, so we're gonna add a little water. Not much, just enough to sort of cover.
Is he really pouring water from a Yeti cup? Well, I said rustic, and this shit's on brand, so no complaints yet. No complaints.
For the bottom of it, because...
What the fuck is a Hatsky bake charcoal grill? The fuck do they look? Oh, is this one of them? Smoky woods? Is that where your wood comes from? I bet it smells smoky. Because it's burning
In
wood.
goes next what? Butter.
Howdy.
Now, I don't remember how much butter my mother put in there, but she made her own butter, and this is pretty close to that. And she always used brown sugar. Now, to me, that's what it made it taste sort of like holiday, but they...
In a lot of recipes that use brown sugar, I tend to put in like maple syrup instead. If you have to reduce it, like my favorite staple in the home, making eel sauce. Bit of maple, the way I make it is a little bit of tamari, a little bit of maple syrup, and a little bit of mirin, and I just reduce it a bit longer because of the water content of the maple syrup as opposed to sugar. But I like the maple taste in my eel sauce more. It goes so hard.
Ain't nothing
I like
better.
it on a, it's the only thing that makes me want to have an avocado. Just like one fatty slice of avocado, just dropped on a bowl of rice, covered in fucking eel sauce, so I can tear it into bits when I pierce into it.
This to me. We're gonna get this to cooking. Now, we may add a little more brown sugar to it when we get close to the end, but I'll get it on the fire. Big news is coming, and I'm asking y'all a favor. We have been working on a project for about 8 years, and it is something me and Shan dreamed of, but it showcases something that we love. and we're going to have a video come out at 6 p.m. Central Time. We're going to give you the full scoop on what's happening. So set your calendar, put a reminder on your watch, or tape it on your butt, because it is going to be big news. These sweet and tangy carrots were popular during the Depression when folks needed food that could be made ahead of time, didn't spoil fast, and used whatever they had in the root cellar or the pantry. Why'd they call them copper pennies? Well, just take a look. They look like a jar full of spare change, and back then, folks needed every cent to count. This dish could sit in the icebox for days and only get better over time. Smart cooking from a time when nothing went to waste.
A lot of things get better after you put them in the icebox for a few days. It gives some flavors time to maturate, and some chemical processes do take time to occur. So no, it's like totally valid. Like some things you do want to hit with that icebox first, and then have later. Different temperature, time, that is food making in a nutshell. Temperature over time. You will have a lot of processes happen. If I try to make like fucking like chicken flavor from chemicals that are all fucking plant-based, you don't get it from cold water. It blooms in the warm. Tomatoes taste better when they're warm. Gotta work hard for the things you want.
Easiest thing to put on the table it is copper pennies. Now when I had it over at the stove, I added some brown sugar, but folks, you can cut the water back just a little if you want it thicker than that. But I guarantee you when we served it, everybody was ready to get to the bottom of the bowl where the juice was and put that biscuit in there. Thank you, Mama, for this dish. It was so good. I tip my hat to the greatest generation that ever lived, those that went through the Dust Bowl and the Depression. But back in the Depression and war years, there were a few different ways to fix them, depending on what you had on hand and the season. The classic copper pennies used boiled carrots that were marinated in vinegar, sugar, and tomato soup with sliced onions and peppers. Pretty simple to put together. Potato flakes, little ground beef. But back in the 1930s, the government was pushing a wartime protein that they needed people to eat, needed to know that it was a meat substitute maybe. That was soybean meal. Whew. Even grits were becoming involved. But today, we just going traditional with potato flakes and some ground beef. Now,
It is really important to have potato flakes and cornmeal in the house. Honestly, if you can't make polenta, and if you don't have potato flakes, I don't know what the fuck you're doing. Like, I keep those things around, because if they're sealed up right, they last a long fucking time. Like, I've been ready for the fucking next Great Depression since I was a child, purely because I know what to keep in the kitchen. Like, you keep long-lasting things, dried-ass beans, potato flakes, cornmeal, different types of flour for different sorts of tasks. You just go with it. And so when that one time happened, where my stepdad was being an asshole and I had to burn my emergency fund really fast, I was at least like still eating kind of well for like a decent bit of time.
Wouldn't dump that in there. Now, traditionally, that's all there was to it, folks. Some people might have had a little cornmeal. Some people might not have. So you just follow along and use whatever you got at home. But we're going to get this all mashed together because this is going to make this go further than it would. And it was all about pinching pennies and stretching $1 for the most it was. Or even like we said before, that slug.
I wonder if my like mushroom spores are still good to start growing oyster mushrooms. Those have been here for a long time, but they've been sealed up in a dark place. They've been kept away from moisture. I really hope that I can still just like start some oyster mushrooms when I want to on a whim, because I love oyster mushrooms. Gnocchi and oysters, they're my favorite mushrooms.
A lot of times if you think, oh, I done got way too many potato flakes in there or cornmeal or whatever you're using, and it's going to be a little dry. Some people might have went out there to the hen house, got one of the cackleberries, snuck it back in and cracked it in there and mixed it with it. Some people also use broth in this method. So I don't think we're going to have a trouble being dry because we got 80-20 ground chuck here, which is 80% lean, 20% fat. We ain't talking about being on a diet today. We're talking about getting by on a nickel. little salt and pepper, that was all they would have had. They'd just put them on there after they got them made. But me, I'm gonna kick it up about 3 notches here with a little chili powder. We're gonna go once and then we'll go, oh my gosh, there must be some humidity. So we're gonna give it a little shake and a little shake of garlic powder.
Damn right. You can never have too much garlic in the kitchen. A little shake of garlic powder. I hope he goes hard on this, because like I am a firm believer in you can never have too much garlic. And garlic powder is a good way to keep it around. Also, I tend to like to pickle my veggies when they get close to going off, because you pickle some daikon, some carrots, oh, you're about to have fucking lovely sandwiches for days. It's so fucking pleasant. Okay, I do like making food more than I like eating. It's easier. Oh my gosh, life is so much more easy when I can just feed people.
Then we're going to mix again and we're going to season it one more time. It's really, I think, the beginning of a meatloaf maybe. Now we're going to season it again, then we're going to go to making us some of them patties. In 1929, the stock market crashed and the bottom dropped out of the economy. We're talking soup.
I wonder, like,
soup lines.
With this fucking thing, I wonder who bought when the stock market crashed. I wonder who hoarded it and bought like a motherfucker. That is my intrigue now. I wonder who like waited for the crash, bought up fucking everything when it bottomed out, and just got to ride the wave as it grew.
And the bottom dropped out of the economy. We're talking soup lines, dust storms, and whole families living on next to nothing. The Great Depression stretched through the 1930s and hit every corner of this country. But it hit hardest where folks had the least to begin with. Out west, the Dust Bowl stripped the land bare. Back east, banks were closing and taking folks' life savings with them. And down south, where this story's rooted, families were lucky if they could put beans and bread on the table, let alone meat. But here's where the slug burger...
I wonder if people nowadays wait for NVIDIA to make a fucking shitty press release, then they do the same thing where they just short and fucking go for it. I'm just wondering, like, this is not financial advice. I'm just like wondering if people like ride NVIDIA's press releases for glory, because that would be hilarious balls.
Truly made its mark. It wasn't just a gimmick anymore. It became a symbol of how folks adapted. Diners and lunch counters across Mississippi, Alabama, and Tennessee started serving them up, especially in meal towns and railroad stops. For just 5 cents, a man could get something hot, crispy, and filling.
I wonder if because I said that, if Jensen is like sending someone to go put 2 between my dome right now.
Back in the day, they were always deep fried. Whatever kind of oil they had laying around there. Lard was probably the #1 thing, but they would always usually coat them with just a little flour on both sides. Not much. Give them a little of that crust, because everybody said they were so crisp. But as it evolved, people were beginning to pan fry. You would even see some on a flat top griddle. But today, we going with the old timers we are. We're gonna flour them just a little, put them over in the hot grease, and see what happens.
If it got me a fucking 6 series, I would so take an NVIDIA sponsorship. The first words out of my mouth, sold out for a 6 series.
But remember, when you're deep frying a piece of ground beef, you need to make them pretty thin so they'll fry pretty quick without burning that outside. Now before we put that flour on there, salt and pepper. Give it a little pat into the meat. Season pretty heavy we did because we're just seasoning one side. So a little sprinkling of flour, and then we'll come back and rub that in and turn it over on the other side. Be preheating your oil to 350 degrees.
Maybe we'll put a bottom on it, right? Like not just for 1, but like let's say for like 50 other bitches. And like, you know, free colo for like 7 years. I don't want to pay the data center for that. Like, I mean, if you have more than 1 rack of shit in your house, then you really, really, really should be just paying rent to a data center at that point. And I will never stop bringing this up when we react to fucking home lab setups, bro. It is so, like, you are either making money with your home lab setup or you are losing money with your home lab setup. And these are not the same, the kind of people that make are not the same kind of people that lose. And you might lose at the start and you might make in the end, but I'm gonna be honest, you've had a mind change. You've had a change of your view of how the world works between those two. And respect to all the people who bleed out and hemorrhage money because they just want a home lab to do a service. I don't want to like increase my power bill by 7 times.
Any good high temp cooking oil will get you by. See if one of them will come off there. Little flour on this side. Then we're going to check the oil temperature over there with the chef's temp and see where we're at. Grease is at 347 it is. When you get these got the flour on it, give them just a little pat, get that excess off. Right down in the oil it go, and we is deep frying hamburger meat. Who'd have ever thought it? We're gonna try to get golden brown on both sides and good and crispy, but remember, we gotta keep that meat done in the middle too, so I can't have no overcrowding, so it's looking like one at a time in the Dutch oven today.
It looks so fun to make a slug burger.
There's always a lot of good help when they smell meat, whether it's frying, smoking, or on the grill of any type. They're always here. You break out the vegetables, they'll just go take a nap somewhere.
They're so pretty. These puppies are beautiful. They don't like vegetables? That's fine. I'll eat all the asparagus, which I occasionally pronounce as aspergillus, because it's fun to confuse the two, even though asparagus good, aspergillus fucking not.
Slug burgers became a staple in what we'd now call blue-collar diner culture. Every little town had a counter somewhere serving them up with a...
Yeah, I'm making melts after stream. I only don't have pickles. I feel like I have committed a crime against humanity for not having pickles in my house when I want to melt. Holy tits. I don't even have cucumber. I can't even make pickles with cucumber. I can make like very quick pickled fucking arugula, which honestly a fucking little vinegar wash and a little bit of thyme and some arugula or rocket if you're in UK. Yeah, no, that would be fucking baller. Hello, we're watching a slug burger before I play video games. How are you doing, homie? Welcome to the chat of complete and utter degenerate bullshit. Like me watching this lovely man's content and not smiling nearly enough. Y'all want the link to CowboyKentRollins? I think he seems really cool.
A smile and maybe a handful of pickles. It was food for the common man. No frills, just sustenance and soul. And you know what? Folks didn't forget. Every July they still hold a slug burger festival right there in Corinth. There's music, cook-offs, carnival rides, and plenty of those crispy burgers, served just like John Weeks made them 100 years ago.
Didn't he try to make a quesarito or crunch wrap that didn't look that great? You mean CowboyKentRollins? What? Crunch wrap? Cowboy crunch wrap? Yo!
What are your first impressions?
Well, my first impression is I get a whole lot more salve than I get meat. I'm talking a lot of sour cream, a little bit of cheese, and I add some of this kind of cheese to go on it. Because remember, y'all know me, I do be liking some cheese. Next,
It's not easy being cheesy.
we gotta have a barrier, the crunch wrap assembly line thing. So put it on here, give it a little mash because I want everything to level out. I
Man has a bandage on his finger.
do just a tad.
Oh yeah, he's got cute dogs. His cute dogs are always there. They'll be taking naps if it's vegetables, and if it's not vegetables, they'll be right there. He said that in the last one. I can go back to it if you want.
Sour cream on theirs. Guess what? We're gonna put a little on ours too. I just want you to run her around here. Now, if we was at Taco Bell, we'd be taking us a little cheese, some lettuce, and tomato, and just throwing on there and call.
Dogs and cats have a really, cats especially, able to smell proteinous things in atmospheric air. I kind of wish I had that.
Calling it a done deal. No, y'all know the cowboy better than that. Folks, it is. Remember these? We gotta have them as a patch. Then I just want you to keep folding right here. This could be the tricky part. Fold this crease over. This one here. Keep folding, keep folding, keep folding, and that is the last one that you're folding. Turn him over right here. Don't let him get away from you. At this time, you may have to tie him up, but just give him a little mashing right there and let him set till we get the skillet hot. Well, the assembly line is complete, and you see me layer.
Oh, you think he needs a bigger tortilla because it looks a little bready? I mean, like, here's the thing. He fills in with it by putting a whole, like, round on the other side. Like, I get what he's doing here. I respect it. I see what he's going for. I feel like here's where, if you were watching, like, Iron Chef, someone would pop out with, like, an egg wash to, like, tamp it down on the other side. Or if you were watching a baking show, someone would have, like, a crimping tool called their fingers.
These out there with 2 of them little crunchy crunchies and a double up on meat, some sour cream and some cheese and some relish on one. But hey, you layer them however you want, because Shannon, she be wanting little guacamoles on ours. And guess what? It's in our new cookbook, Faith, Family, and the Feast, and the recipe will down there below. Ooh, guess what?
Faith, Family, and the Feast sounds like such a pretty title.
It's in our new cookbook, Faith, Family, and the Feast.
Oh.
And the recipe will down there below. Ooh, guess what? There is a great trick to making that there guacamole. Who would have guessed? No, it's not just avocados, it's a tater masher. Check that recipe out, folks, you're gonna like it. We got that field skillet back in there reheating. We got us a little bit of that leftover corn oil. Be careful when you pick.
Well, like, so Taco Bell having like a little heat press for this. So when you're making food at scale, you occasionally want to find processes you can like speed up, especially like time consuming ones. And so not even just fast food, but like just making food at scale, like knowing the temperature that you'll need at the base to like have a consistent temperature throughout, having large mixing apparatus, like you do want those kinds of things at a point. It makes sense, but like it's like if you're doing it rustic on your own with your own 2 hands for a couple people instead of like tens of people, like you can skip the like tool assisted speed run on how to make food.
Pick them up, keep them mashed. It always.
Like Alton Brown says, you should not have a multitasking implement in the kitchen, period. And fast food is the king of monotask. Alton Brown says everything should be a multitasker, no monotaskers. He says the only monotasker is a fire extinguisher. But actually, my fire extinguisher is a bludgeoning weapon and a pepper spray backup if someone breaks in my house. So it's not a monotasker, it's a multitasker, and it is in the kitchen. And there's another one by the laundry machine. Because reasons, which is also close to the computer, because I happen to have my computer and laundry machine in the same room. Because reasons? They're valid reasons.
Go seam side down. So lay them in here. You want to hear that little dab of sizzle when you start? Give them a little mashing, okay? Well, folks, we've been on about 3. We have. Ooh, that's what I'm talking about. I want to see some of that color. I just ask you to put that spatula on there, let it set right there. Keep all them creases do as they want to cool, because as they cook and cool, they tend to want to reopen. So give them a little mashing right there. We'll go about 2 minutes on that
other side. This man is right. You want to
it.
keep that fucking thing down, because as you heat it, the steam is going to rise from within, and as you do that, it's going to like resaturate the flatbread. My friend says tortilla. He knows to say tortilla, but he says tortilla to be a dickhead, and I will honor him. So you want that tortilla to not get resaturated. It's one of my favorite flatbreads. There's like roti, there's naan, and there's tortilla. Oh, and there's also like, oh my gosh, my brain's breaking. The P one. I like the P one. I don't mean penis. Not that that's like a bad thing. Like penis is fine, but like I mean to say, not panini. No, hold on. We're lost.
is a done deal. Ultimate.
The one that I was eating for a week straight.
Bacon cowboy, no bacon. The ultimate double crunch, double meat cowboy crunch wrap. And right here, not Taco Bell.
Oof. Look at these beautiful puppies. He has 3 puppies, doesn't he? Because, oh no, we saw those 2 earlier. I thought that I had a... No, there are 3. Okay, never mind. I kind of like tripped myself out. Lol. Here, I'll turn down our music. He's shining.
Well, folks, I mean, I just here to tell you, I mean, there's a lot of difference there. There really is. And I mean, I thank the folks at Taco Bell. It was a great experience that I had going through the drive-up window. And the little gal was nice, but this is what we call something real. This is like a commercial. It's a teaser. So we're going to go ahead and go with this, I'm pretty sure. And it is the ultimate double crunch, double meat crunch wrap.
Oh,
I can hear the crunch from a mile away.
crunchy.
Look in there, folks. Oh my gosh. It is a full meal deal.
I'm kind of wondering how far he had to drive to get the crunch wrap from the store to his place, because it getting like uncrunchy might be understandable in the context of if he had to drive like 50 fucking minutes or some shit. Like if you have to go like over 15 minutes, you're gonna have some chemical changes in whatever you're purchasing. If you have French fries, the thing you can do is put them in front of the car air vent, but also to keep them from like, you know, drying or getting wet. They won't sweat so badly if you, well, they will sweat, but you wick it away. How am I feeling today? I'm feeling like today.
And it comes with, you can hold it. It's crimped over here so it don't fall apart. Make me want to do the Taco Bell shuffle. Taco, taco. Whoa, here we go with the Taco Bell. Taco Bell. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Taco Bell. Taco Bell. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Cowboy done beat you.
All right, that is the same dance I do when I like pretend to be like doing at-home Denny's type shit. Cause like I will just make food at home and be like, I'm gonna make it like Denny's would. Like, except I do a fucking lovely at-home job. And like, I know that their nachos are soggy. So I make them a little bit, but I kind of go harder. I like making sliders and just talking shit. I can't really help it. It's too fucking fun.
Whoo, folks, wasn't that dance something? It was good as that Ronald McDonald shuffle we did on the Big Mac or the early morning breakfast rise shuffle we did with the Egg McMuffin. But I think I need to tell you this, and it comes from the heart. I am in no means making fun of these places, and I'm not running them down. These folks have done a great job in all these fast food restaurants, keeping a lot of people fed through this situation.
And they've also done a lot of innovation. Like the fast food joints can take a lot of guff and a lot of criticism, but where they do at least deserve some praise is like making food at scale. And a lot of the innovation that they have put their effort into does pay off in the home kitchen. And I'm not just saying getting a heated panini press. I'm just talking about the very fucking understanding of how we produce food at scale. If you give enough of a fuck, if I ever get a test kitchen, I mean, it's really fucking cool.
Situation that we be in our country now. So, hey, I'm tipping my hat to all the drive-up window people and the cooks. Y'all just keep at it, but guess what? Cowboy's probably going to outdo you on this little thing here and things like that. So, hey, come on over. We'll all have a bite. Remember, everything that we used in the video will be listed right down there below, where it always is. If you're a new viewer, hey, we're just so glad to have you. We'll give you a hug. Oh, what? We didn't feed the puppies? Well,
We've got extra company.
we do. So let's everybody have a little cheese and meat. We'll stay away from the veggies. Whoop, whoop. Hey, hey, Zoe. She's new, folks, so she don't really know what's going on. Come here. Zoe's company, so she'll have the first bite. Duke and the man who does it all, the bigger. Yep. Well, we thank you so much for dropping by. We hope you enjoyed this. We sure did. Hey, we
Absolutely honored. Okay, back to the slug burger video.
copper pennies in a slug burger. Soy meal and blend them with the meat. John a little bit farther. While up in Chicago, John had learned a trick from German immigrants, folks who knew how to stretch meat in lean times. They'd grind in fillers like breadcrumbs, potato flour, even soy meal, and blend.
This man is so happy.
You know, I'm amazed sells it, but then I thought I was eating a hamburger that had potato chips in it, because them potato flakes sort of swell up a little, and then when you deep fry them, ain't no more Happy Meal drive-up window. You can get your French fries and your burger all in one place right here. You can. Very good. I hope y'all enjoyed it, because I love to go down history, and this is something I'd never eat before in my life. I am fascinated by it. I'm going to make them a regular here at the house. But folks, remember that apron I got? You can't get full on fancy. You know, it ain't got to be fancy. It's just got to be good and filling. But what even makes it better than that and brings it to the best meal ever is when you gather folks around the table with you. We're all resilient. We all can make it. Hard times might be coming, but hey, you throw some food on the table, invite the neighbors over, grab a hand, bless it. Good things is coming your way, folks. 6 p.m. Central, big announcement is coming. We want to share it with family and friends, because y'all are our family and friends. It's going to be a glorious day, it is. You can even make a slug burger before 6 o'clock gets here, have a watch party. But it is with great pride, honor, and privilege that I tip my hat to all the servicemen and women and all the veterans who have kept that old flag a-flying. We commend you all, we do. Rest of you, get on in here for a Dust Bowl Depression-era hug. I'm going to shake the dirt off of me. God bless you each and every one, and I'll see you down the slug burger trail.
Oh my gosh, he is so charming. Every fucking bit of him. Alright. So, I keep thinking that Liberal Hive Mind is that same channel that got, like, really fucked on for... Remember when Carl JJ Drops came back after the whole, like, load of shit? And he was talking about the person who kept, like, calling the one trans streamer a cheater. The AI voiced channel that said it was like 3 separate people, was one dude, we can assume. Okay, so I still think that what the fuck was that? Like some gaming, I can just go look at Carl JJ Drops channel and show you an example. But no, I think it's like the same person starting up, and I have no reason to believe this. I have no substantive fucking reason to have belief in this. I literally just have a vibe that it's the same fucking person. I can't help it. No.
And because the situation was so public, they really had no other option.
Forgive my
Oh, it was Call of Shame. That's the channel I'm thinking about. Okie dokie. It's Call of Shame. And again, I have no reason to believe that this is the same channel. I just have a, it's just my little meat ears doing a little bit of analyses of like subject matter, delivery means, delivery modality, the way that it is conveyed, and just kind of filling in blanks. It's nothing to really stand on, nothing to really substantiate us. Just some like, just my little fucking brain trying to like fish some shit out of nothing and noise, and yeah, it's fine.
French, but this is truly fucking stupid.
They really had no other
choice.
And because the situation was so public, they really had no other option.
That is an amazing claim. When Shimmy was banned, no one out
Are you going to side with hearsay or the facts staring you right in the face? I'm also hearing now that he was banned in Titanfall some years ago for using aimbot. Are you going to side with hearsay or the facts staring you right in the face?
This is
Okay, I kind of like that I went to the clip of the person saying, are you going to stare at hearsay or are you going to listen to hearsay or facts staring you right in the face? Because we're about to go to this channel that I keep thinking might actually be this person. Again, nothing to stand on, not a fucking thing. I just have a fucking little, my little shithead senses are tingling.
Hey guys, welcome to the Liberal Hive Mind, a channel solely focused on exposing the abundant hypocrisy of the left. And of course, here's your meme of the day, brought to you by 5mind.com. Ilhan Omar is in sheer panic mode, and you can see it all over her face. It appears the second anybody mentions or challenges her on her immigration story, well then all of a sudden the body language changes, the tone changes. Now obviously you can't sentence people based on feelings, but that won't stop me from having an opinion, that won't stop me from having a feeling, and I am feeling in this case that something is off. Her behavior, her body language is extremely suspect, and I think it's clearly because she's hiding something. And I'm really not saying that out of nowhere, because the information, the revelations just continue to drop, and we've got another one. It appears as though Ilhan Omar might have been caught in yet again another lie. Let me show you guys exactly what's going on. As the heat against Ilhan Omar is turning up, we got some stuff to get into, so let's roll the tape. Alright folks, so let's first start off with this clip. Here's Ilhan Omar being confronted about her immigration history, and just take a look at her behavior because it's clearly uncomfortable and very evasive.
Response to Tom Holman saying you're under investigation for immigration, possible immigration violations, just any response you have to what he's saying in the public.
At the moment they'll be investigating.
So you don't think they would find anything?
Absolutely not.
Why do you think they keep bringing this up in the media?
Sick.
Again with the same moral outrage nonsense, instead of actually addressing the claims that are being made from many credible sources, by the way. Not to mention there's documents that have been released. You know, a lot of this stuff is not just speculation, it's not some random right-wing conspiracy theory. There's an actual story here, but according to Ilhan Omar, no, we're just sick. We're sick people. Oh, these people, they're just obsessed with me. They're sick in the head. They're crazy. She's trying to dismiss it. Anything but actually address the topic. You notice how she either dismisses it, claims that the people who are interested.
Okay, so Miss Omar, the Honorable Miss Omar, saying that people are sick in the head is the most presumptuous nonsense thing I can imagine. Like, none of us are their doctors. We don't have the time investigating their health and history enough to know that. It's a really lazy thing to say. Like, not just is it, like, fucking absolutely fucking weak, it's also really lazy. Like, there's nothing to stand on there. Yeah, at all. But also, it's fucking really fucking shitty to say with nothing to stand on, bro. It is like absolutely fucking abhorrent. Did I close my... what?
Interested in it are actually just sick people, or of course her favorite defense, anybody interested in the story must be a horrible, evil racist. That's not a defense, Ilhan, and it's especially not valid, again, when the information just keeps coming out and it is damning. And speaking of damning information, well, take a look at this.
You know, President Trump has been calling Congresswoman Ilhan Omar into question recently, and White House border...
It was dog shit balance options, you are totally right. Having to pick between those two, completely rough, but we got the one that worked, and I'd rather take the having the gold gate, or I'd rather take, you know, whatever the fuck I picked over whatever the fuck I didn't pick. No idea what I picked anymore.
Czar Tom Holman has confirmed there is an open investigation concerning her immigration status. You're no stranger to politics, I know, AJ, having run for Congress yourself, but you have been raising red flags about Omar for years now. I know there's a bit of a backstory here, but walk us through what you've uncovered.
Right. Well, in 2019, I was looking at something about Ilhan Omar on the internet, and it occurred to me to look at her birth year. I don't know why, or birth date. And so I used an age calculator and found out that she was actually 18 in the year 2000 when her father became eligible to apply for citizenship. She claimed that she became a citizen at the age of 17. So when I realized she wasn't actually 17, I created a video explaining derivation of citizenship and how that works. So to me, this was like completely a red flag. that I had figured out that she actually wasn't a...
Like, I like hearing what people's thoughts are on shit, but so y'all know, I have not done any staring into Miss Omar's, like, age when she reported any of this, or how it's gonna play out. I'm just listening to people whinge. I like listening to people whinge. It's important to me to hear people whinge when they have a whinge.
Minor when her father could apply for naturalization, so it kind of blows a hole in her story that she obtained naturalization or citizenship when she was 17. On top of that, not anyone has ever verified her citizenship, not the Minnesota Secretary of State, the FEC, or Congress itself. I then went to the Minnesota Secretary of State's office in October of 2019, I believe, and I asked questions and found out that they didn't verify her citizenship, and they actually don't.
In simple terms, Ilhan Omar lied. She has always maintained and always claimed that she became a citizen at 17 years old. The story is, I was a minor, my dad became a citizen, and then I followed along in the naturalization process. You know, it's seemingly benign, even...
Oh, it's that I was curious if, I forgot to have a pause play button on my controller. So she would not deal with USCIS, not any of those organizations. Oh, okay.
This claim seems to be a lie. When you line up what she says with public records, it doesn't add up, because Ilhan Omar would have actually been 18 years old in the year 2000 when her father became eligible to naturalize. In other words, she wouldn't have been a minor that was attached to her father's process. Now, maybe there's a leeway period, maybe there's an explanation, but based on all the expert opinion I've seen, I'm hearing people say, no way, it doesn't make sense. Then it gets even shadier, because after she got into Congress, her official public bio magically then shifts from born in 1981 to born in 1982. Who does that? How does that happen? Normal people don't just casually change their birth year once they become federal office holders. And so obviously, something seems to be amiss. Something is wrong. And you're not sick in the head, you're not a evil, deplorable, Trumpian racist for saying that. No, none of...
I'm not even racist against Knowles. And like everyone tries to justify hating the Knowles. But like, honestly, I don't care that they're Goblinkin. I really don't. Like, I'm just not gonna, like, ascribe, like, fucking evil intentionality to the Knowles. I'm gonna be like, well, they're fucking Knowles, bro. They had to come from nothing. Now they're here.
This makes sense. And it's...
Sorry, during a naturalization period, since it's waiting for a maturation of the years, is probably a leeway. Possibly. We don't know, though. Well, we don't know, but it's a good consideration. Yeah.
Making less,
and they did state that, like, it's not like they're oblique to that entirely. They made space for that, so that's good. That's good.
And less sense by the damn day. And of course, you stack all of it on top of everything we already know. We've got an immigration system in Minnesota that seems to be drowning in Somali fraud. Supposedly more than half of the processes have been fraudulent, according to Christine Ohm. Not to mention, we've got years of allegations with document proof that she literally married her own brother to game the immigration process. And so yes, people have questions at every point. Something seems wrong. The question is there fire where we're seeing smoke? Well, maybe. I don't know 100%. I'm not going to make that claim. But again, I will maintain that I am not a sick person. I'm not a crazy, racist, Trumpian, MAGA, chud, conspiracy theorist for seeing and smelling the smoke and then walking over and wondering what the hell is going on. But that's Ilhan Omar's defense. Just non-stop pearl clutching and this dismissive, pathetic attitude. Not to mention more emotional grandstanding on X. She's again playing the victim card, this time on the issue of TPS. She posted this,
Wait, if she's grandstanding on X, shouldn't she be grandstanding on Blue Sky, where there's possibly less pushback?
TPS holders are our neighbors, co-workers, and small business owners. They've built their lives here. I led members of Congress in demanding answers on the administration's legally dubious and dangerous threats. Legally dubious. You know what seems legally dubious is your immigration status, Ilhan. And you know what else is legally dubious? The whole notion of TPS to begin with. But of course, here we go with the same leftist sob story, emotional pandering nonsense, playing the victim, as if Donald Trump is doing something so unacceptable. He's coming after me, he's coming after the Somalis in our TPS. TPS is not a real thing. It's a Biden joke. And now we're learning that your immigration process, your entire US citizenship, might not be a real thing either. If the evidence suggests that that is the case, that you lied, that your father lied, that your brother lied, well then I hope it all comes crashing down, because this is unacceptable.
I mean, I hope a lot of things she does come crashing down. That one would suck for her and her family. I just hope a lot of things that come crashing down on her are the one shit she deserves for being inappropriate and a fucking bitch all the fucking time.
Sitting member of Congress being an illegitimate citizen is not a small laughing matter. If it is proven that she and her family defrauded the process, then absolutely she should be removed from Congress and then frankly removed from the country. And hopefully we could do it fast enough before a Democrat administration takes control and gives her, I don't know, some sort of temporary protected status or something. Anyways, TLDR, call us racist all you want, play the victim all you want, claim we're sick. We don't care. We're interested in one thing, and that is the laws on the books being upholded as they should be. Ilhan Omar, this isn't going away, despite your little cringe, pathetic efforts here. Anyways, that's what I got for you guys. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.
Okie dokums, let me timestamp the next thing. 2 unsolved mysteries that don't piss you off? Well, that's dope. I mean, no. Burger King SpongeBob Burger from Legend of Lolcow, that's a later for me thing. That's a me thing. The Candace Owens shit is fucking bananas. Like, you could find, you say that you could find her birthday, but not what her dad's naturalization day was? Yeah, that's like somewhere. I mean, you can file for it. You can, like, put in a FOIA, probably. I'm too lazy to put in the FOIA. You know why I'm too lazy? Because I have a single node Kubernetes cluster and I have Megaboink. These things are important to me. Like, let someone who, like, gives the most amount of fucks. There's stuff I put in the playlist that's supposed to just be cringy. So I guess we're gonna hit cringe right now. I have no idea what this is, but there's a green Labubu on their desk, and that's already reason for concern. So, hold on. I just minimized everything aside from Megaboink. That's nice. That's nice. So it is like actually listing itself as like full screen. That's nice. I bet this is, I bet that's here. Ah. There we go. Got it. What's this? Oh. Order this. Prevent always on top. That's what I needed. That's why we have special key here, is to prevent always on top, because no one wants that life. It's not fun. Who wants a window to be always on top? Did you ever watch any of the Digital Circus episodes? Nope. I haven't seen it since episode 2. I know they're on episode 7 right now. I'm not watching it till they're done. Entirely. I'll binge it when it's done. I don't like watching shows when they're actively airing. I like waiting till they're done and binging the whole thing. With the express exceptions of Stargate Universe, For All Mankind, and The Expanse. Those I would watch when they came out. And I was dating someone a while back that wanted to watch a Dexter New Blood as it came out.
Post this video 2 weeks ago, but I got sick before I could film it, and I'm just now feeling alive again. So, hi, I'm Susu, and just when I thought it was safe to upload once again, everything went wrong. Basically, YouTube's updated AI moderation system is causing an e-holocaust for millions of channels, and my channel just...
Is it just me, or does this person saying the phrase e-holocaust hit really fucking weird? Like in a what the fuck way, right? Like, is this not just me, right? Like, hearing, and I quote, e-holocaust sounds fucking dodgy. Oh, her birthday being in October, you'd say there's an 80% chance that one lady was full of shit? Well, I mean, we could dig, but that's like, here's the thing. I was listening to a person whinge. I listen to people whinging. I don't really, like, listen to everyone, don't believe everything you hear, but do listen to everyone, right? It's important to do. But moreover, I could square away the time to go dig through, but as I'm not trying to say one way or the other, and I'm just being a shithead, I'm just being a shithead having fun in a video game. I don't know what you want from me. You want me to poop in your face? On your face? You want me to poop on you? Probably not. I don't want to poop on anybody. It's my private time.
Happened to get caught in the crossfire. This is why those dang old clankers should only have 2 jobs. Simple, tedious processes, and sex bots. Unfortunately for us, it looks like there's no escape, as Neil Mahan, YouTube CEO, tells Time Magazine in an interview released December 8th, that he thinks AI is basically the savior of YouTube. Okay, so friendship ended with human reviewers. AI will tell us right from wrong now. Also, friendship ended with all other liquids. Gamersubs is my new best friend, so head on over to gamersubs.com and use code Susu for discounts on all Gamersubs products. And be sure to pre-order my official Susu.
Before I forget, this is Susu_JPG. Everything went wrong. It seems like another whinge about the fucking moderation scheme of YouTube changing to like no humans supporting any AI tasks with moderating the platform, which seems like it's not going to be helpful in the long run, especially because you should have the human reinforcement of what is an appropriate decision and what isn't. And without the reinforcement that goes into the system, it seems like it's just going to continue as it does without any fucking correction. And that seems like a very lazy on the people involved kind of thing. To be fair, it does seem like lazy people will only exacerbate the problem. It's fine. Even though I say I hate people, I swear to fuck, just because I'm shitting on the humans here doesn't mean I hate them. It just means I think they're lazy, troglodyte shitheads half the time. And it's very obnoxious. I can't help that they are. It's what they do. What do you want from me? To be less genuine and say, oh, they're not troglodytes. No, they are troglodytes. All of us are at some point. I just like to think that a lot of us, if not all of us, will find our way out of it with dedication, time, and care. Probably.
Subcup. Pre-orders are only for a few weeks and then it's gone forever. Link in the description. Back to the randomized mass channel murders. I started a new channel for my informative video essays called Subject Susu. Things seemed to be going fine until I uploaded my first video. In under an hour, the entire channel was terminated. No warning, just deleted. And this is happening to countless YouTubers right now. In my case, YouTube deleted my video for nudity that the AI hallucinated, which is an odd reoccurring theme for why my videos have been randomly taken down, as YouTube's AI keeps imagining me naked. Anyway, when I went to address the email they sent me so I could begin the appeal process, I couldn't because the link led to a dead end since my channel had also been nuked. My favorite part was how the video deletion email said, since this is your first offense, you can still post and upload. Then my channel was vaporized. So I did what creators always have to do when something on the site breaks. I post about it on Zitter until an actual human has to come fix the problem. So some poor employee had to reinstate my channel and remove all the strikes on it because the AI is a dirty little liar. After I managed to get my channel and video back, the channel showed up as having no content despite there being a video, and you have to click.
The AI was misinformed by the humans being lazy little bitches. I would not go with dirty little liar without more context. It genuinely just seems like the lazy ass bitches in charge didn't want to fucking put money into human moderation as well, so they could supplement each other, but instead try to offload all the work, probably doing what a lot of companies have been doing, which is just sacking large amount of people for the option of trying to, in quotes, automate it without understanding what that entails. It sounds nice in the boardroom, I'm sure it sounds nice in the bedroom, but it doesn't sound nice as a realistic motherfucker that gives a fuck about the outcome of the world. Anyways.
Click on the video tab to see that I uploaded anything. This sucks because the average person is going to click on the channel, see nothing, and assume I have no videos. I really wanted to tell you all about the psychology of people who put bugs in exit-only pools. Like, is that so wrong? These randomized channel bans are affecting a diverse spectrum of creators, but oddly enough, they seem to really hard target videos trying to educate the viewers, with many how-to channels currently being wrongfully terminated. The bans have gotten so bad that users got together to put community notes on YouTube's official Zitter posts, pointing out the mass AI deletion of non-offending channels. I was lucky to have been able to get my Subject Susu channel reinstated, but once again, I had to take to another social media platform and scream until YouTube noticed. Users who don't have a large Zitter audience are basically just doomed because of this fact.
Well, that is true. Those who don't have a large... used to be Zitter. Is it just Zit now? Because instead of Twitter, it's X. So is it just Zit now? Which I would have thought that's what Reddit would be called. I guess I'm just going to call Reddit doesn't wash the bed sheets it. And we can keep Zitter. That's fine. That's okay. I just presume Reddit doesn't wash the bed sheets. I don't know what the fuck they do. I'm not fucking... Bro, I go to Reddit to do a few things only. It's like Ashby Moon memes, and like going to talk to other ASD people and try to not be a shithead and not like let them double down in a mire of misbelief and fucking like shitting on themselves for inappropriate reasons. I have very simple interactions with wholesome, loving people that deserve the best in the world. Oh, we're dead. Spooky Steve got me.
Shaz YouTube made a Google document and has been tracked.
Oh, you don't know what's better in this game? Cooldown or attack speed? So I think that the reason that cooldown might be relevant is with things like banana. It comes back to you faster, and so you might be able to throw another volley. I'm not actually positive. I'm actually in the middle of sussing that out right the fuck now. I wish I knew. I'll tell you when I find out.
Trying to help get eyes on the smaller channels that have been banned. And speaking of channels wrongfully terminated by YouTube AI, Final Verdict had their true crime channel terminated for banned circumvention, despite not being banned prior. Eric Parker was terminated after making an informative video about mitigating rootkits because AI deemed this as harmful, evil hackerman behavior. Dave Nick lost his 1 million subscriber channel after crimes the AI lied about, over a decade of work flushed for nothing. His video was also an informative one titled How to Make History Animations with AI. Those...
Like, okay, so I'm curious if there is like some attestation to where like if this was reported manually or like mass reported before the takedown, because that's like a thing we don't know. We hear the like alarm bells about, hey, AI moderating YouTube, but I don't know if we have any of the input provided. Like, was it reported inappropriately by someone? Was it mass reported by some people? I don't know. I'm not saying that that's the case. I'm just literally saying I don't fucking know. But if I were able to ask any question to the folks at YouTube that do moderation, it would definitely be starting there.
Aforementioned channels are just an infinitesimal drop of examples in the ocean of unfair terminations. If you go to Zitter and search YouTube terminated, there's a new post every few minutes. Dave Nick also points out how YouTube's new AI system bans authentic human creations and how AI slop channels are now more profitable. This is a case of quantity over quality, since the AI channels can spew out content with no real effort, while us organic creators need to take our time to plan and edit our videos and risk random deletion. I think everyone would be happy if AI content was shared.
Yeah, we're gonna start needing transparency for every strike and ban at this point. Like, I'm sorry. Like, we at least need to not know who reported it, but if it was reported. Like, I don't think anyone outside of the company should know the who, but I think we all need to know the what happened to trigger the fucking report. Because otherwise, we're kind of just lazy half-dicking it around with an assumption, and we need more information to substantiate it. Because let's say that folks that want to mass report, or folks that just want to report a scripts kiddie trying to be a dickhead or something, is trying to go out of their way to submit a report in such a way where they will like make it in their mind and possibly in practice difficult to counter or uncounterable. That's something that we need to be able to stare at, you know? Like, that's genuinely... we need to see it in public. We need to see their reasoning. We need to see how YouTube comes to the conclusions that they do if they're through reports. And they don't need to say like that it was even AI or like human intervention that caused it. We do, on the other hand, just desperately need to know what the fuck was it that started the fucking train. Like, the end result, they can keep obscured. That's fine. We really don't need it. What we do need is the initiation of it.
On sites specifically made for only AI and away from places originally founded for human-made creations. Like, how are human staff going to keep up with an infinite amount of AI accounts? They have to use AI moderation to monitor the AI, and then the moderation AI pushes all the human content off the site by banning them all, while AI videos get a bunch of artificial views from AI bots. Then advertisers see these inflated bot numbers and think, wow, we're getting so many views on our products, so they pay for more ads on AI videos AI viewers are viewing, and then their companies crash and burn because AI isn't going to buy a Labubu or that Starbucks bear cup. It's a slippery slope in design. Alexander Chase brings up the grim reality of AI-only moderation. AI bot terminates you, you appeal. The same AI bot reviews it, AI bot confirms its own decision almost instantly, your YouTube career ends for life. Alexander was one of the many victims of YouTube's AI moderation, but he stood up for himself, took YouTube to court, and actually won. However,
but not everyone can afford to take YouTube to court for poor moderation decisions. So yeah, that's really important to bring up. Remarkably impactful. Good fucking choice. This person fucking killed it for at least sourcing something that has been remarkably relevant.
He still has not gotten his channel
Yeah,
back.
when?
It seems laws are not adapting fast enough to protect us against rogue AI, which sucks because it would be a great tool to work alongside us, but instead we're seeing a huge push for AI to take over tasks that need...
Okay, you know what? Points to this person. They also acknowledge that it's appropriate to like work beside, but not to try to entirely invalidate and replace whole swaths of motherfuckers. Valid. Oh my gosh. First time finding their channel. Easy like, easy sub. GG. Way to fucking... Oh, I already liked it. I already subbed. I don't remember
need
this.
a human's touch.
Whatever. Bug
It's
it.
clear that AI just can't moderate creative content better than a human being. YouTube needs humans behind the scenes, and it needs human creators in order to thrive. Alexander also points out the sheer volume of channels being terminated this year. In the first 6 months of 2020...
Y'all, here's their channel in case you give a fuck. If you do give a fuck, find a video that you like of theirs, give it a like if they earn it, and give them a sub if they earn it. That helps their retention way better than going for a second, liking some bullshit because a streamer said so, and just dipping. Because then they look like they can't even hold the ad. Even if you have premium, if you just go for that little bit of time, then it doesn't help them in the long run. It looks like even if they tried to shill ads, they couldn't. Someone was there for a second. What ads would you see then? Even if you have premium or an ad blocker or something, at least engaging with it fully gives them a chance. I'm not saying use ad blockers, but the FBI says use ad blockers. They've released multiple press releases that state why you should. It's because malware is up in the ads these days, and malware getting distributed through YouTube ads would be hilarious. Chef's fucking kiss. But there'd be a lot of sad people who are really negatively impacted, and that sucks for them. I would be laughing, but I'd be laughing like when someone falls down the stairs, or when you watch like Rocky and Bullwinkle and someone gets like disemboweled by a train. Not like laughing like, oh, that was funny. It's like laughing because someone fell down the stairs and they got back up and they walked a little bit, so you know they're at least alive and their spine isn't broken. That kind of laugh, you know? Fucked up thing happens, you let out a chuckle. I'd give that kind.
YouTube's AI system terminated over 5 million channels, and now towards the end of the year, this number has grown to over 12 million terminations. YouTube defends this claim by saying the reason for the high number is due to a specific financial scam out of Southeast Asia. This may be true, but that hasn't stopped users from coming up with their own theories. One theory posed by Smiley Smilik is that the AI bans increase during top-performing financial quarters as a way to make it so YouTube could...
They don't pay them if you don't watch the ad, and if they suspect an ad blocker, they don't pay them. But it at least still helps their fucking ability to be seen on the platform.
Keep these creators' profits without paying them. Users also pointed out how even new channels with no monetization, like mine, are also being ethered.
Take it from a one viewer Andy over here. I know what's up, bro. I know my shit. Take it from the one viewer Andy how to fucking make your channel pop off. The sad thing is that I'm not fucking wrong.
And Smiley further hypothesized that channels with quick growth that are well on their way to monetization might be targeted so they never achieve a payout. My new channel, Subject Susu, was gaining subscribers rapidly, and my video was doing amazing. I'm certain the watch time required for monetization would have been met off that single video had my momentum not been destroyed and reach crushed by a wrongful termination. Nani Josh shares that his animation channel that reached over 650,000 subscribers was terminated for spam after a period of rapid growth and virality. What's also alarming about Nani Josh...
I was a little greedy and I died. That was not very clever. I'm having them really early. It was so much easier when I'm on the Steam Deck on the couch, just like, you know, gabbing to someone lovely and having like a little bit of a cackle. It's way harder when I'm on a big-ass screen with a big-ass controller. You know, that's not even like me just talking shit. It's like, honestly, it genuinely is. But that doesn't really matter. That's like, whatever. It's a reason to clown on me, not a reason to like pity my bitch ass. Clown on me harder. Clown on me knowing why you clown on me. Give me a fucking hard time. Give me the gears. Make it fucking rough.
Josh's case is that his posts are getting huge amounts of traction, and YouTube has replied to him several times, however, over a month later, and he is still waiting for reinstatement. It really does seem like At this point, the YouTube AI isn't just going after scammers, it's deleting success off the platform. People have often suggested creators go to Rumble, and I considered this until I actually looked at Rumble. All the content that was pushed to the forefront there was highly political. In addition to that, the user base is predominantly male. I don't make political content, and I don't dabble in crypto, which is also really popular on Rumble, so I don't see how someone like me could thrive over there. This is the main reason basically every YouTuber I know hasn't bothered with Rumble. Many of us don't make content that appeals to Rumble's main demographic of men into politics. Now, you might say, Susu, you could help change.
I should probably also stream on Rumble. If it's a bunch of dudes that are into politics, I mean, I'm a policy bitch, so clearly that's like my people, I guess. I don't fucking know. I like policy more than I like fucking waking up in the morning and fucking having coffee. I like waking up in the morning and having oats or cream of wheat more than most things, on the other hand. I do like my cream of wheat and my oats. Something fierce.
Change that by posting different content there. Yeah, no, I don't want to be the Ruby Bridges of Rumble. It's just not going to work out for me. Many platforms have tried, but none are able to connect creators and share video content at the same level as YouTube, despite the platform's flaws. YouTube remains the best video sharing platform for creators with the most varied and diverse viewer base, making it possible for all kinds of creators to succeed. That's the biggest factor in why YouTube is so great. You guys, the viewers. Anyway, hopefully my next video will not get my whole channel deleted for no reason, and also finally get to be about something positive, because I really cannot catch a break lately. Speaking of positive things, next video on my Subject Susu channel will be about a woman who was so attracted to maggots and garbage that she became famous for it. So make sure to follow my new channel, Subject Susu, where I post.
Yeah, give her a follow on Subject Susu so you can hear about a woman who's so attracted to maggots and rot that she does something possibly fucking disgusting. I mean, it's not like a bad offer. I mean, like, I will probably watch it later, honestly. Like, I'll get off stream later and I'll turn that on. And that sounds like the me kind of content that I would watch. There's rotten mango in my fucking, like, little thingy. Here, I'm going to just grab it and drop it in chat too, because I'm a good fucking bean, okay? I'm a good bean. Sorry, I have cables over my whole desk. Like, I really, really do. It's so messy right now. It is so messy. But it's my messy. I'm just messy. It's okay. You know, I tried to look for 2 seconds, and I can't find it. Oh, subject, not project. I'm dumb. Okay, y'all, hold this link. Also, me, Subject Susu. There we go, got it. I unfucked up. GG.
Wholesomely horrific educational content, and remember to pre-order my Gamer Subs Cup and prove that you aren't an AI viewbot. If enough of you don't watch my videos and buy Gamer Subs, I'll be replaced with cost-effective AI, and we already have SusuBots, so I want the nice.
I'll go with knockback. More banana shit's not the best. Crit, on the other hand, we're about to put it to fucking good use. Or XP, I'll go with crit. Like, I'm gonna just bump up crit till we're critting every hit. It's been my favorite way to run.
Thanks for watching.
Oh, that's why I followed Susu's channel. It was that other video that got hella play on the internet. You heard Stinky Cheese is pretty good in this game? Stinky Cheese is pretty good in this game.
Lived in a black neighborhood for quite a while.
Okay, so Channel 5, Andrew, lovely Channel 5 with Andrew Collingham, sorry. Inside the, in quotes, all-white community of Arkansas, I still kind of get iffy about calling people by monochromatic representations of the perception of any degree of ethnicity. I really don't like it, but I will at least scream that at the top of my lungs while saying what someone titled a video. Anyways, as we were...
While I saw how they treated white people, it's not very good, and yet all the hate is on white males.
You would get beat up if you...
I mean, okay, he isn't wrong. A lot of people do look at folks and say, based on the color of their skin, an inversion of the paper bag rule, that they are lesser than for a reason. So they're not wrong that there is prejudice that does land on fucking people. for that reasoning. Yeah, that is totally valid.
Said something racial to a black person.
You saw that happen?
Yes.
They said something like, man, the hood ain't the hood anymore, as in like they were unhappy with my response.
Almost exclusively white communities exist all around the United States off of paper merely because of socioeconomics, and that if you are wealthy enough, everyone who becomes wealthy enough will buy into a more or less white-only gated community. But I would not be able to afford that outside of, you know, working my entire life to build up a bunch of businesses, but I would like to have kids.
I want my kids to be taught that their
I'm pretty sure that describes my neighborhood.
ancestors did great things, not that they were the villains of history.
Correct, and Arkansas is nice. As far as I know, the laws are you just need to let them know that you're going to be homeschooling, and then after that, there's no like testing that you need to do, or they don't really check up on you.
The first community that
I grew up in a really like deeply integrated area. So I grew up around like everybody, and you know, homogeny like did hit me weird at first because I was like, where are the folks that remind me of home? But you live, whatever, fuck it.
really went after us was the r/Jewish subreddit. I had CPS come out here because they had complained to CPS trying to get my kids taken away. The health department has come out here. They just blanket made complaints to everyone. I mean, I do have Mein Kampf, but I think that's just historically relevant.
Who wrote that one?
I mean, okay, him having a copy of Mein Kampf should not be a condemnation of him. It should be at least the beginning of, well, maybe he fucking reads. And maybe he wants to know the historical context of why the fuck it was written, and whom writ it, and how he went about such a thing. It makes some sense. Like, you should read everything. Like, if you're not gonna read the Necronomicon, maybe you could hush up about... I mean, what? What do you expect from me?
Mein Kampf?
Yeah.
Hitler.
Oh, shit.
He's sort of the central villain of the 20th century. So if you don't understand what he thought, then you're, again, missing a big piece of history. Did he make mistakes? I believe so.
What do you think the biggest mistake was?
Invading the Sudetenland.
None of the other stuff.
The other stuff? Well, it depends on what you mean.
Just like the Holocaust and everything.
Holocaust? I don't know about all that.
Everybody thinks Genghis Khan is cool and he killed more people than Hitler. The question is like how fast that will take for Hitler to be as cool as Genghis Khan. I don't know. Total brown Gorper victory.
What's your favorite thing to cook?
I like making tacos. It's fun.
Despite the fact that we do have, taco nights sometimes, we also have traditional European food nights.
I really love breaded chicken, like fried chicken. I like pizza, I like typical stuff.
Look, I was a big Dr. Dre guy for like my teenage years when I was like working out and everything like that. But then I was like, I don't think it is as soothing to my soul. And that goes back to just like anthropological data that we have about the difference between like rhythm and harmony.
What about you?
I don't listen to rap music. I listen to gospel music.
Okay, who's your favorite gospel artist?
Probably Skillet.
You say Skrilla?
Skillet.
Skillet. What do they sing about?
It's like a rock.
Just checking audio. Hold on.
Rock Christian band.
Okay, cool.
Hardcore, we love Jesus.
Okay, got it. TYO. TY.
Can Greeks live here?
They're European.
How about Central Asian Caucasians?
They're not European.
But the Caucasus Mountains, Caucasian ancestral birthplace, is technically in Central Asia.
Is it?
Mm-hmm. Some Italian Americans, like in Staten Island, think they're not white.
Oh,
They say, I'm not white, I'm Italian.
Yeah, and...
I mean, so when folks from Italy came to the States at first, they were murdered in droves by anti-immigrant gangs that, to use their own language, said that they weren't white, and in using their own language, and would slaughter them at that time. Same goes for Ireland. You should know your history. It's very important to remember these things. A lot of lovely folks were put to the sword for so very fucking little. And when you look at anti-immigrant gangs emerging in the States, you'll see a large amount of very centralized or very, I guess we need to just probably call it what it is, ethnic ghettos, as well as like localized policing that rose from that. So you'll see the Panthers doing what they could. You'll see a lot of Irish officers and a lot of Italian officers in mostly Irish Irish or Italian neighborhoods, you'll see local policing do what it can. And so we shouldn't forget this ever. It's remarkably important. A lot of people who had beautiful, who deserved fucking better died. And the reason that it emerged is that. And so we should keep historical context without trying to continue it into this day. 100%.
That has a lot to do with the historical uses of the term white. For legal...
Oh shit, this person immediately went to it. Oh fuck, I love them. Oh my gosh, they immediately said my shit. Yo, bro, I am so happy. This is like dope. Like, you never hear anyone mention this aside from like me, and I say it a fuckload, but I don't hear much of anyone fucking bring this up ever. I feel vindicated, and it feels really good.
Reasons, I believe Italians and Irish were actually always considered white.
Thank you. Can you show us around, you think?
Sure, of course.
You're watching Channel 5 News, broadcasting live from the Mojave mainframe. And today, we have a special report.
Ladies and gentlemen, the USA is in the state of...
Bro, that's how little it takes. Like, one person can, like, point out a thing that some dumb gal on the internet, some loser one viewer Andy ass bitch wants to just hear more of, and she will let out the biggest re-tear scream, screech, holler that you have ever fucking heard. Like, it doesn't even take a lot. It is so easy to just give me the biggest, fattest fucking joy face. Like, I will be so happy. My stepdad would always say he should give me a fat lip. Well, I mean, if that's a fat lip with joy, I just got it from this other person. So he can go fuck himself, because this other person did it better. Winning. Fucking winning. I do like wireless dagger. It is a good option in this game. It is, oh, and more lifesteal, up to 22 per fucking cent. Hell yes, bro. Hell yes, hell yes, hell yes, hell yes. We're gonna maybe not suck as much, but I don't know.
Of emergency. And that emergency is related to rapid community decline. In 2019, more than 60% of Americans thought that in-person community involvement was very important. Today, that number is beneath 27%, marking the sharpest dip in modern US history. Consequentially, loneliness is at an all-time high. 17% of Americans reportedly have no friends at all and spend the majority of their time either at work or on social media. In my opinion, that's bad.
I don't think we're actually collectively benefiting from being the richest country on earth so much these days.
You could drive for a half hour in any direction and still be in just more suburbs.
If there's one thing that I want people to take away from our entire Channel 5 catalog, it's that community is the most important thing on earth. Aside from helping us to meet our core emotional needs, I believe that community really is like existential therapy that helps us to deal with the dread that accompanies the human condition. From the moment that we actualize death as young children, we spend the rest of our lives coping with the fact that an eternal silence likely awaits us at the end of this strange, beautiful, and painful journey. But community, unlike life itself, offers permanence. Through a strong and continuous community,
unlike life itself, offers permanence. I mean, that is beautiful. That is beautiful and fucking true. And holy shit, is that pretty to hear.
you can achieve something close to collective immortality, at least in your own mind, which helps to assuage the fear of death in a way that makes life less painful. It's deeper than getting a beer with the homies, which also is happening way less.
We told you recently about a steep decline in partying among young people, 70% down.
Simultaneously, people are spending more time online than ever before, and by online, I mean on social media platforms. TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, X, and YouTube. This is only compounding the mental health effects of isolation. 40% of Americans between 18 and 22 admit to being an active social media addiction. 50% of Americans say that social media has had a negative effect on their personal relationships. 60% say it's impacted their self-esteem for the worse due to comparison. 80% admit to being deceived by social media content on a regular basis. And the average screen time for an 18-year-old American in 2025 is 8 hours and 39 minutes per day. Now, let's pivot and talk about the content that dominates social media platforms.
Let's
As we
go.
mentioned
Plus
in our previous video
1.1.
about Baltimore, bad news makes more money and travels faster than good news, and social media platforms.
Bad news travels fast, and bad gas travels fast in a small town. Yes, bad news does travel faster. If that small town is social media or the place you lay your head, bad gas does travel fastest. Yes, we all love to fucking gossip. Who the fuck doesn't?
Forms are rival companies.
I'm sure there's people who don't. Are they really people?
companies who measure success through engagement, which means keeping your eyes glued to the screen for as long as possible. Statistically, this is best done by deploying content that markets crisis, fear, or disaster. So the users who dominate these platforms and eventually become parasocial leaders are experts in doing just that, scaring people, scaring the hell out of them. Usually by shaping a distorted version of the outside world that keeps their followers both inside and engaged into a feedback loop that carefully mimics community.
We've all been exposed to the same sources of information online as well. We're like part of the same online subculture.
I primarily use X. My algorithm is mostly right-wing political content. Nick Fuentes gets fed to me a lot.
I didn't start out nearly as identitarian.
I still haven't seen a Mr. Fuentes video itself. I've seen people reacting to him, but I haven't seen him myself. He seems like a charming lad who does say some obscene shit here and there. But y'all, I'd make jokes about fucking absolutely eradicating sapience on planet Earth. Like, I think that's worse. I'm pretty sure that's fucking worse than any clip I've heard of that man. Is me just being like, oh yeah, I mean, I should just be able to eradicate all the fucking sapient shit on the planet. And then, but you know, I fuck it, too lazy.
And as I am now, even my own comment section in many ways persuaded me that this stuff is more important than I was giving credit to.
But it's important to remember that regardless of politics, all people fundamentally want the same thing in life and are just grown babies looking for somebody to play with.
We do games, traditional, like the Highland games. Those are traditional Scottish games.
Even before I lived here, I would come and visit and bring my poker set, and we would just do like very low stakes, like $5, $10 buy-in. It's just a fun night with the blokes, grand old time. And then sword fighting is one of the things I really like to do.
Ooh, they like sword fighting? Oh shit, hold on. I need to pause and look.
It's with that lens that
Okay, it's over. That was pretty.
want you to watch today's documentary, which revolves around a whites-only Christian settlement in rural Arkansas called Return to the Land.
Yeah, my name's Eric Orwell. I'm the president of the Return to the Land Private Membership Association. We call it The Settlement. This is our first intentional community for people of European heritage, planning many others around the country.
Yeah, we have 3 acres, the RV and the solar system and everything.
So this is a homesteading project, pretty much.
Yeah.
Have you been able to harvest your own food?
Yeah, we've gotten a lot of tomatoes, pepper.
Honestly, with the amount of fucking absolute abhorrence subjected to people for the fucking color of their skin in the Big 25, I can't even be mad at them for wanting a European-only area right now. Like, I literally can't. Like, the amount of fucked up shit that people sling just because it's easy and they're lazy, I can't even be fucking mad. I can only have empathy for the, oh, you probably feel afraid to be in your own home and unsafe. That's not fine. Yeah, you should probably feel safe. Feeling safe is really important. I want you to feel safe. 100%, bro. I'd still try to go and feed them.
Melons.
What are the main tenets of the community?
Well, we believe in traditional European values, traditional nuclear families, monogamy.
We're not looking for the...
Oh, yo, they believe in monogamy. We can agree on a very important thing. I'm for that. Like, hell yeah, bro. That's fucking dope.
Yeah, the weird whatever trans things are going on now. Yeah, we're not for that.
Basically what you would find in traditional European religious texts, like the New Testament, like the Havamal in Norse paganism.
How many people do you think live in this community right now?
We have, I think, if you include children, something around like 35 or so.
And we've got hundreds of new people accepted just in the last, I don't know, few months.
A lot of people are concerned about rapid demographic change, mass immigration, and just what's happening to our countries.
Why not just like go to Idaho?
Well, because I'm not just thinking about what would be convenient or easy now for us. I'm also thinking, what will the country look like for my kids?
I mean, it is important to consider what the country will look like for your kids, your grandkids, your great-great-grandkids that you've never even dreamed of yet. Yeah, no, it's like remarkably important. You should have some permanence in how you make considerations. Okay, I'm following.
Grandkids. Coeur d'Alene, I looked up the census information, and it's dropped nearly 10% of the white population in the last 20 years. That's mostly immigration.
I grew up in Montana.
Did you notice a significant demographic shift in Montana?
Not yet, but it's happening. It won't be long.
And where'd y'all move from?
I'm from Wisconsin.
And whose idea was it?
It was his idea.
I did notice that race-mixed kids I didn't think looked as attractive as kids who were pure race, but you know, that's anecdotal.
I mean, that's his preference. If he doesn't think that, in his words, race-mixed kids are as attractive as... Why is he judging the attractiveness of kids? The fuck did he say? Do I need to run that back? He really said those. Am I mishearing? I have to be mishearing. I will gleefully crank Stellar Blade. I will. That's Lyric Assault Replicant original soundtrack. That I will gladly crank that to fucking drown out my thoughts for a moment. Okay, let's hear him back.
Not yet. But it's happening. It won't be long.
And where'd y'all move from?
I'm from Wisconsin.
And whose idea was it?
It was his idea.
I did notice that.
Okay. Please tell me that I misheard that one fucking set. What the?
Race mixed kids, I didn't think.
Oh no, he says in his own words, race mixed kids
looked as attractive as.
And he says they don't look as attractive. Bro, kids should not be. It should be fucking fundamentally illegal to find children attractive. You're welcome.
It's kids who were pure race, but that's anecdotal.
So going back to the very beginning, you said you grew up in Southern California?
Yeah.
What part of the area?
The south of LA County, La Mirada.
Okay, cool. So you pretty much grew up like in a.
I did notice that race mixed kids, I didn't think looked as attractive as kids who were pure race, but kids.
Wisconsin.
And whose idea was it?
It was his idea.
I did notice that race mixed kids, I didn't think looked as attractive as kids who were pure race, but
You don't think he knows what anecdotal means? I don't care if he knows what anecdotal means. I care that I just heard something that I never want to hear from anyone under any circumstance ever. What the fuck are you? Bro. Broseph, Brosephine, Bros apart the third. What the? I'm gonna sip some water.
No, that's anecdotal.
So going back to the very beginning, you said you grew up in Southern California?
Yeah.
What part of the area?
The south of LA County, La Mirada.
Okay, cool. So you pretty much grew up like in a pretty diverse area.
Oh yeah, my elementary school was.
Shout out to Andrew C. for letting him be heard and speaking his possibly mind. I don't even know where to start, end, or go from there. Well, I don't know. Today's ruined. Happy whatever the fuck day it is. Are y'all celebrating something? Is it some holiday where you are? What are you fucking celebrating today? I'm celebrating the day I wanted to torch my fucking ears and bleach my brain. How y'all doing? What you doing? What you up to this lovely, fine, beautiful, outstanding day? And by the way, little reminder, I don't want to hear anyone qualifying or quantifying the attractiveness of children. I want you to talk about adults. You can say the adults look fucking more attractive. That's fine. Just don't say I look attractive.
Primarily Mexican. I remember we had some kind of cultural day and they asked where your ancestors came from, and they were writing it on the board, and it was like Mexico, 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 England, Mexico, Mexico, Mexico. I mean, I have no other identity I can go back to. I'm a quarter or more Norwegian, and then I'm German, and I'm English. So I can't say that I'm English, I can't say I'm German, I can't say I'm Norwegian alone. I'm not even majority any of those things. So the only identity that I have, ethno-cultural identity, is as a white American. And I think that's most white Americans, actually.
It seems like the idea of white people or whiteness that we know today that's referenced by the media or by the Associated Press is a relatively new construction. Like talking to my grandparents who grew up in Philadelphia, you had different sections of town that belonged to different, very tight-knit European communities.
I mean, I do appreciate Andrew C. bringing this up, that they're the codification of a universal, and I quote, whiteness is a very new construct, and you would have very ethnic ghetto distributed in the United States for the longest. That is actually very relevant. I will never get off of my horse about screaming that Irish and Italian folks coming to the States were slaughtered by anti-immigrant gangs. So yeah, very true, very valid. What are you saying what for, homie? Is it because I was going back to that person saying that thing that I thought that was really weird? Or is it something else? You just came in, what the fuck, how are you doing? What are you saying what to, is my question here. If you're gonna pop up in the chat saying what, I just need to know what you're saying what to, because I heard a lot of weird shit recently, and I don't know where to begin my prioritization. I don't know where the fuck to start. What? A lot of things. Where? A lot of things. Why? I don't know. We just exist. When? Now. We exist now. Why? I couldn't tell ya. For what? Probably because it's some cruel cosmic joke. Where? Probably yo mama.
So you had the Irish neighborhoods, German neighborhoods, Italian, Polish, Greek, and then with the mass influx of African Americans from the South during the Great Migrations, those lines kind of dissolved and they became a more loose unit of pan-European whites who fled the cities, and that's part of the reason that
if you're gonna say what like I'm a fortune teller, at least say what the fuck you're saying what to, because I have literally been cluster-fucked in my earballs today. And it's only been a very short stream.
Philadelphia became so overwhelmingly black. And so
it started with slug burgers and now it's here. Oh, now you're gonna say what too? Okay, that's great. You know what? You know what I have to say? What? How does it feel?
So now
you probably don't give a fuck. It's fine. At least I'm not crashing out like Cyrax. It could be fucking worse. Eat a fucking cock about it.
I don't know my ancestral Irish culture because it dissolved as a result of the political situation of the time. A lot of traditions have been lost throughout the process of white assimilation.
Yeah, and that's true. That's definitely part of it. I don't think Mexican heritage has those same issues. Latinos, though, it's interesting. They come from a bunch of different indigenous backgrounds, plus the Spanish influence. Yeah. And they have no problem like seeing their commonality and they kind of embrace it. Like La Raza, it means the race.
Pura la raza latina.
And they're very pro this kind of unified Latino thing.
Hey guys, what's up? I'm at the Waffle House, not too far away from the RTTL settlement. Very different vibe, but I'm happy to be here. Anyways, we were just talking about Mexico and Spanish stuff, so I figured now's a good time to tell you that Channel 5 actually has a second Spanish language channel with all original content from across Latinoamerica. So if you guys want to check out a couple of videos, such as Lucha Extrema or Nahuatl Language Survival or Inside Tepito, Mexico City's largest counterfeit market.
You're wedding to the thing we both heard, about the person saying that children were attractive. Yeah, we're not rewinding it again. No, that just happened. I mean, like, now, honestly, I can say maybe he doesn't think children are attractive. Maybe he's saying that the, children as they maturate and become adults are less attractive in his perspective. Maybe. I'm not trying to condemn the man outright. I just think that sentence should be stricken from the United States fucking vernacular as a whole, in totality, until there's nothing left but ashes.
Or Mexican Independence Day, or so many more things. You can check all these videos out on Canal 5. Just type in Canal 5 Latinoamerica. You should see like a circle. It looks kind of like Channel 5, but instead of being blue.
Also, burn the fucking pageants down.
Blue and red for America. It's green and red for Mexico. So if you want to give us a sub, a like, or whatever, maybe comment. Gracias, Andres. Este video es muy chistoso. I really appreciate it. Once again, that's Canal 5. I'm trying to expand our coverage across the world, country by country, society by society. So maybe there'll be Channel 5 Africa or Channel 5 Russia in the future. But for now, we've got Canal 5 Latinoamerica. So if you want to check it out, like I said, the link is in the description box and the pinned comment of this video. All right, guys, back to Eric and RTTL. After grappling with the lack of ancestral connection during his formative years in LA County, Eric decided to attend a performing arts school in upstate New York. During his schooling, he became infatuated with the works of classical European composers, who gave him a sense of tradition that he finally felt connected to.
I went to school at Eastman for French horn performance, so I'm a big fan of, Bruckner and Brahms and Strauss and Mozart and Beethoven, all that stuff.
After college, Eric's admiration for the Mozarts of the world morphed into a total obsession with Greek philosophy and ancient European history.
Those old European cultures.
Today, Europe stuff is still his primary fixation and passion.
I personally have a lot of respect for the Dutch. The Mycenaean Greeks were this big force at the end of the Bronze Age. The religious traditions of pagan.
Bro, if I just toss on some fucking evade, we're gonna be able to just tank it. Y'all, I'm gonna get some more evade. This is bonkers. The lifesteal is grand. Enough evade and I just won't get hit.
Europe had valuable things to teach us. All European people are descended from 3 ancestral groups: the Western hunter-gatherers, the steppe herders, and then from the Neolithic farmers who came from Anatolia around 9000 BC, initially into Greece, and then
just melted the boss. Ooh, more evade. based.
Spreading everywhere else.
As a Neoplatonist, I
Mark
kind of
speaking.
agree with Iamblichus. I like Atlantis research. That's another hobby.
You think Atlantis was a real place?
100%. And they were also in Western Europe at various times.
But do you have French pride?
I'm not French.
These interests ultimately led Eric into a career in philosophical content creation, beginning with his first videos over 13 years ago.
The term philosophy was first coined by Pythagoras. What we might call pleasure and pain, I think more neutrally and generally could be termed positive and negative subjective value. We can talk about that level of egotism.
Positive and negative subjective value can also be termed like either, can just be termed as input instead as well. I mean, so there's a lot of ways we can divvy and dice this up. But yeah, no,
As
it's
being
fine.
a kind.
I also find a lot of the fucking old philosophical, a lot of the just like aggregate philosophical belief structures to be really fucking, can I just say dumb? Okay, good.
In its own right.
Gradually, from 2016 on, these videos became more politicized, focusing a bit less on Plato and metaphysics and more on a shadowy global elite who uses mind control on the unawoken masses.
We can sacrifice, racial purity at a national level if we get cultural and racial integrity at the local level.
It's this kind of content that caught the eye of most current RTTL settlers.
I believe I came across Eric's X account. He has like kind of a philosophy channel on YouTube and X. So I found him through philosophical content.
I teach courses on Plato and Aristotle online.
Through that, heard about Return to the Land and became interested.
RTTL was initially marketed as a positive, community-based regression to a pre-industrial society.
The way a state should be run is in the interest of the people, not a set of corporations, not just the ruling class, not just one man.
And if you take the race stuff out of all of this, I mean, living this way does provide a pretty gratifying existence to people who've grown up in either
I mean, so yeah, if you take the race stuff out of it, I mean, it also addresses a lot of Theodore Kaczynski's concerns. Outside of the wanting to burn everything down and thinking that classes of people because of illness shouldn't be able to live. So, I mean, at least Uncle Ted would be a little bit less bitchy at this one, seeing as he was, so bitchy that he is my favorite example of how desperation, regardless of your intent, if you ascribe something positive to your actions, desperation can drive you to do fucking bananas shit. Yeah, no, Uncle Ted would be proud. Probably. He'd probably bitch at them for letting a YouTuber come through, but, he'd probably be less bitchy at them than the rest of normative society, so yeah, that's probably true, honestly.
Z or millennial American society, where almost everyone is chronically online and frantically scavenging to pay rent in a limited job market.
What are some things that you've built here that you're very proud of?
I don't know, I probably built like 30% of that starter home, maybe like 40% of the little cabin over there. Oh yeah, the other cabin over there, I might have built like 40% of that, but
Do you feel like labor gives you the most personal gratification as far as...
Holy shit, does labor give you the most personal gratification? He says, yeah, no, Theodore Kaczynski would probably fuck himself right now. He'd be finger banging himself on the floor to this.
Your role here?
As far as my role here, yes. It's also like a good thing to like keep each other responsible. Like it's very easy, as a teenager, like, oh yeah, I'm gonna get off of school and I'm gonna go home and like play video games and, do whatever else you do as a teenage boy in your bedroom for like 4 hours and then like before you know it, the day's gone,
Yeah.
Whereas here, if me and Jonathan, we're like being unproductive or whatever, we can kind of kick each other in the ass and be like, hey, like, what's going on?
What's your favorite thing to do around here?
I like to cook. I've cooked for the guys that...
I also love to cook. It's really fun. I like cooking for the guys too. I mean, outside of how I'm possibly not welcome in this vicinity, it sounds like a very nice town. I'd still cook for them. Like, if I can roll through and cook for them, I would love to cook for people. They can appreciate good homemade food.
Work here. I don't really have hobbies or anything.
She cooks a killer steak.
I like being appreciated for my cooking.
Almost everyone here at the land, I think, worked on this.
You proud of it?
Well, it was our first build, so most guys don't have any experience and we're just learning from YouTube.
So YouTube taught you to build a house?
Yeah, essentially.
We bought it like raw, undeveloped land, so that's been exciting.
What's the thing out here that you're most proud of in this homestead project so far?
Probably the garden. I feel like David put a lot of work into just getting this ready for us to be here.
I believe that polities should be small in scale to the point where you could conceivably know everyone in.
I do like when I live in towns so small that I know like fucking everything and everyone. I don't cook meat, that doesn't fucking matter. Like, there's a lot of fucking food from like from Europe that doesn't require meat. Same for like food from like Africa as well. Like a lot of folks were like, oh, we're trying to find an Ethiopian place to go. And I'm just like, okay, well, I mean, just give me the Gomen, bro. Give me some injera and Gomen. I don't give a fuck. Like most places don't depend on meat as an option. It's like a very Franco fucking Germanic thing when you have like wealth, but that's like not the majority of Europe, and nor is it the majority of the world. Like most places have a litany of fucking plant-based shit you can do. And that's just like by the nature of food, like being a food thing. And most people didn't have animals to like slaughter in mass. They'd have like, if you had a cow, that was your fucking cow friend. They had milk for you. You might eat them when they die. That's like a lot of places, bro. I should tell that to Japan and the Philippines. Well, I mean, we're not talking about Japan and the Philippines. That takes into context other shit too. So, I mean, if you're gonna just go jumping and selectively like grabbing those two, I mean, fuck, man, I don't know. Like, how about we talk about fucking, this is when I say a yo mama joke and we move on. How about we talk about yo mama? I don't fucking know, bro. What do you want? You want me to smile at you harder? Okay, fine. You can still find like food that is all plants in Japan and Korea too. What are you fucking, bro? Maybe tell this to the bitch that isn't like abreast of how to make food.
The community, I think there should be a diverse set of community.
Well, I don't know my daddy, so high five. You don't know your mom, I don't know my dad, let's fucking go. There's some people that don't know any of their parents.
For people to choose from, like the Greek city-states. You know, if you didn't like how Corinth was governed, well, you could move to Athens.
Building from the intellectual framework that Eric has created, race seems to almost arise as an unnecessary flashpoint for a group of people in a virtually all-white area who are primarily concerned with their homesteading project. Yet still, it's brought up constantly.
I hate to be that guy, but like I've had a lot of black friends.
Okay, top 5 black people.
Tommy Sotomayor, Louis Farrakhan, let me think, the Hodge twins, and Jesse Lee Peterson.
Black Lives Matter.
My top 5 black people are the folks that do kabuki theater and they're the stagehands that they wear all black. That's my top 5 black people. I know that just wearing the color, but like I otherwise try to ignore the fucking racialism and colorism shit because it's just not my fucking vibe. I don't know. But I do happen to think that the kabuki theater people, like this ninja character, dresses like a stagehand in kabuki when they are wearing all black. That isn't what like a ninja of ye olden times would have worn. That's all.
It's a far-left, liberal, radical, agitative organization founded by a bunch of black lesbians and homosexuals and
Mr. Peterson, I suggest you give...
Okay, like one of my best friends ever used to be Puerto Rican. He was a lot of fun, but it's sort of like, you know, you have these big ethnic blocks that are like boulders, right? And you can build a bridge across and like meet in the middle and be friends with someone from another ethnic group, of course, right? But it's very unstable. It doesn't last.
What happened with your Puerto Rican friend?
Oh, nothing. He just moved away. He moved back to Puerto Rico.
Were you sad?
I was a little bit sad, yeah.
Damn, that sucks, man.
Hey guys, what's up? Communities like the one here in the Ozarks are real-life manifestations of online echo chambers. When people start relying on Facebook groups, message boards, and fringe YouTube channels for information, the digital feedback loop eventually spills into the real world. Beliefs get reinforced, outsiders get villainized, and an entire town can start to mirror the same closed-circuit worldview you normally only see online. So naturally, before we put boots on the ground and go inside, we get informed. Using what, you might ask? Ground News. Ground News is a dope...
Ground News is a website that consistently parrots things from a bipartisan lens, and I think partisanship is a wash, so I tend to go be my own first source and does not want curation. But let him do his Ground News plug. I'm not trying to harsh on the man for using it. I am saying that it seems like a very simple way to not be able to look outside of the worldview of bipartisanship, because they'd never fucking articulate a single fucking thing that way anyway. And there's a lot of nonpartisan people out there, yours truly, who just want people to be well and seem to be fairly okay at finding their own fucking sources.
Ass news aggregate, among many other things, that shows you stories from across the political spectrum and ranks them in terms of bias, from left to center to right, so you can see how different sides of the mainstream press are covering a story as it unfolds. For example, when it comes to this story, the whites-only community, mainstream outlets, both left and center, have all extensively reported on it. But as you can see here using Ground News, on the right, there's barely a ripple. No headlines, no segments, no commentary. Thank you. And when an issue this large goes almost
Bro, you can literally just hit up like, and I'm being a little hyperbolic here, but you can just go and see if CNN and Fox News has it, and what they say, and then go like dig up original sources and then laugh at the fucking wash of misinterpretation in the middle. Like, I don't know, go look at the DOJ's website directly. Like, the news companies want you to go there for ad revenue, and Ground News makes its money. No shame, no shade, no hate, no, I don't have pink lemonade, but no shade and no shame. They do make their fucking paycheck off of peddling a bipartisan lens on people.
Uncovered by...
All they do is peddle bipartisanship. People buy into it, they live in that little hate locker, and they never escape it. Again, support them, support Andrews, do what you want to do. I'm just pointing out something that I can't not mention every time Ground News comes up ever.
An entire side of the media landscape, you know something's up. Something else that doesn't get enough attention is how many news stories aren't actually newsworthy at all. That's why Ground News actually quantified the number of verified sources covering a story, so you can figure out if it's a real story or just phony baloney echo chamber nonsense. Ground News also tracks ownership of publications, so you can figure out what corporate investor might be paying for said story, if you catch my drift. For all these reasons, we here at Channel 5 trust Ground News to help us cut straight through the noise. And right now, guess what? If you scan the QR code on screen or go to the link in the description.
It's paused for a second while I whinge about something. Ground News and the news agencies do benefit quickly from engagement, much like your YouTubers. So if you really want to support this person outside of what they're asking you to do, go on round to this man's channel, go give him a like if he deserves it from you, go give him a follow, or whatever the fuck, find a video you want to watch in full, let it play its full fucking runtime, and give him your engagement the right way, because everything else literally doesn't fucking work. And so if you just go there and sub because some dumbass streamer said go like and sub to this person and you leave and you never watch the content, then it looks like they have a surge of people that only like it for a second and leave. You're indistinguishable from bot views at that point, and those do hurt a person. So if you like their content, go to their shit, give it a fucking engagement yourself. You want to fucking actually see their QR code later, here you fucking go, my dudes. Have fun with that shit. Like, honestly, I'm not going to harsh on you for using Ground News. I'm going to harsh on Ground News for what they do. Eternally.
Description, you can get 40% off the Vantage plan, bringing the cost down to $5 a month. So get it for yourself or gift it to a loved one so they too don't miss out on this dope ass news aggregate. I really believe in what these guys are doing, and I encourage you to check it out. Ground News. All right, back to the Ozarks.
My name is Jonathan Malorn. This is Josephine Moore, and we live on the land here at RTTL.
Have you guys had any kids yet?
No, we're not married.
Oh, you guys are dating?
Yes.
Courting.
What's courting?
Courting is just like dating with more steps, essentially.
Oh, I love this. Courting is like dating, kind of. So you can like meet someone, you can go on a date, you can date them, but then you can also court them, which I find courtship to be very important. And then like, oh, no, y'all, these folks just hit my fucking heartstrings in all the right ways. Like, I am definitely like, you meet someone, you court them, you meet someone, you go on a date or two, maybe you start dating, then you begin courtship, and then after courtship, if you want, you can go ahead and go get engaged or some shit. This is so wholesome and charming. Oh my gosh, it's so pretty. I love this.
We have to be like verified by our supervisors and guardians, people we look up to and respect, and they both monitor our relationship and help to advise whether or not we are good for each other. If they decide we are good for each other, then they walk us along and help us to pursue the relationship that would, end in the best outcome, which would be getting married and having as many children as possible.
For Jonathan, who grew up in a Mennonite colony until he was 6, exiting standard society and courting his future wife in isolation is the only viable option for long-term success in today's dating culture.
What is right with the dating culture? Every woman on the internet is more or less advertising herself as sexually accessible. And so if that's what you want to do as a bloke and throw your soul away for a quick goon, yeah, it's great. Dating culture for that. The problem with that is, and we see this demographically and statistically, the birth rate is going down exactly because of the over-accessibility of sex. The marketplace value of sex and monogamy as a whole is basically at an abysmally low level, probably the lowest it's ever been in human history that I've ever studied. And that does not benefit the future generation of our offspring. It does not actually benefit a happy life. People above the age of 40 who are married long-term have significantly happier lives, both male and female.
I notice you have a ton of kids.
Yeah.
How many you got?
Number 5 on the way.
Okay, cool. What's the plan for education for the kids?
Oh, she's got 5 kids. Number 5 on the way, rather. That's adorable. Shout the fuck out to people working hard for them and theirs. That is beautiful.
I'm homeschooling. It's going pretty well. I know everything that they need to learn. It's going to be nice being in the community when they get...
Okay, this is my only L I'm gonna call out. Saying you know everything the kids are gonna need to learn is likely inadequate, or inaccurate rather, because you should be learning along with them. You should both be on the adventure of learning. Continued education is very important. As we learn more as a people, you need to learn more as an individual. So you can say that, like, and I'm not trying to harsh on this gal, like, she's clearly doing her fucking best, right? And she's probably gonna do a good fucking job. But you will need to keep learning with them to enable them to grow. As you grow along with them, there is no ifs, ands, or buts about it. If you stop learning, you are fucking worthless. All of us. If I stop learning, what the fuck is my existence? Aside from a piss pot of fucking rehashed bullshit and nothing new.
Get a little older and I'm going to need help filling in certain subjects I'm not comfortable with. That's another reason I'm glad to have the community, because I don't necessarily want to sift through every piece of history to know what's acceptable to teach the kids or not. I trust the guys here.
I'm not overwhelmed by the evidence for the exact official narrative, like it was precisely 6 million.
You know, there's Black Wall Street. Back in the era of segregation, there are examples of prosperous black communities.
Black Wall Street, I'm pretty sure, got burned down in a race riot.
Yeah, I mean, if you look into the details there, that's another one of these narratives.
Slavery was bad, but also everyone else practiced slavery too.
North America was very sparsely populated when we got here.
It's important to note that interwoven into these tropes about community building and heritage celebration is a much more intense core, and one that embraces controversial and outdated race science.
Black college-educated people still tend to be more violent and criminal than white high school dropouts.
Recently, I learned. So he's saying that, like, black college-educated people tend to be more violent. I don't know about this. But I did learn that people who've gone through college education might, in some cases, have, like, a second-grade reading level, because they didn't learn phonics and they were brought up in a fucking very learn the whole corpus of language, not learn phonics kind of era. And that I still find to be heartbreaking as fuck, honestly. It is fucking heartbreaking, and it makes me want to sob my little pretty eyes out.
Really?
Yeah, the average IQ in some parts of sub-Saharan Africa is under 75, which is considered mentally disabled. East Asians have measurably a higher average IQ than Europeans, and they're less criminal and they're more prosperous.
So you're saying Asians are smarter than us?
Yes, on average.
Yeah. Like every Japanese person I've met, or like Korean, seems really smart, but I've met some Chinese people where it's like, really? I feel like they're fudging the numbers on that one, to be honest.
As far as most experts are concerned,
it's like actually really hard to assess someone's intellect, and IQ tests are actually only for assessing if someone has a support need. Like, if anyone you know is bragged about an IQ test, they were issued that IQ test because someone thought they couldn't tie their shoe or buy butter on their own. And like, as someone who was issued one, I will speak against everyone that uses it as a point to brag. There is no way to, like, people who say that theirs is above 180, they're entirely full of shit. That is all speculation. There is no quantifiable way to start racking stuff up at that kind of value. IQ tests, once again, are issued when there's a support need, not because someone's perceived to be intellectually gifted. Those are given to people, like, that is a thing that we can say about people post it, but that still means that someone thought they couldn't tie their shoe, couldn't brush their own teeth, didn't know what day it was, or couldn't function in society without making sure that they were actually able to function in society. IQ tests are to assess need, not to assess aptitude, by the way. And so, lower scores are more impactful, meaningful, and have more fucking purpose to be mentioned and referenced, as to where higher scores are entirely, at some point when people gets to a certain numerical value, entirely speculative and based in fucking bullshit. So basically not based, you know?
all of these IQ numbers are fudged. Here's a bit more about that from somebody who knows his shit, because I feel like it's worth it.
These tests were made for the purpose of figuring out who's going to do well in school. It doesn't predict terribly well to many kinds of real-world successes. There's so much it doesn't tell you, that it doesn't tell you about emotional intelligence, creative intelligence.
Oh yeah, emotional intelligence is so much, like, as a person who tested out of your fucking IQ scores, I'm the first to say that I call myself a dumbass. I don't give a fuck. And furthermore, emotional intelligence is so much more valuable than intellectual quotient. So being able to actually qualify someone's emotional intelligence is beyond meaningful. Just the desire to want to hurt, the desire to want to not want to hurt, not want to subject others to things you've gone through, makes you so much more of a fucking boon to society than one IQ score will ever fucking mean, ever in the whole of fucking, all of fucking our civilizations combined. Bless the high EQ people out there and their astonishing asses. They are fucking fundamentally important to society, and they need to be hugged until nothing else can be seen but the fucking love glowing in their hearts.
Intelligence, common sense, wisdom. There's so much more to a person than just their IQ. I would say the major problem has been what's sometimes called scientific racism, but it's not really scientific. It's using the guise of science to advance racist views, because you sometimes get racial differences in different kinds.
Also, IQ tests as they stand are oftentimes used, at least in the States, as more of an assessment of fucking trivial knowledge. So if you're a trivia person and you just happen to know a large amount of shit anyway, you're going in with a fucking one-up on folks that may not otherwise have such a thing. So it's not really the most efficacious way to test a fucking thing under the fucking sun, outside of, do you already know the trivia? How quick are you at learning the trivia? And it's not a real applicable thing beyond that. So
kinds of test scores, including IQ, that don't take into account where those differences may come from. It was convenient for some people to say, well, look, we can divide people by nationality or socially defined race or ethnic group or religion into different IQ.
And also when you start incorporating things like linguistic differences, how people were exposed to information, the kind of framework they have to start, I feel like us phonics people are gonna fucking just do an easier job than because we can conceptualize words that haven't been pinned yet, as opposed to someone who's used to looking for an existent word and just recanting their observations. It's such a mess, y'all. It is a fucking mess.
IQ groups, and they probably believed themselves that it told you something, but it didn't tell you what they thought it told you. People with high IQs are often better at convincing themselves of whatever they want. So in other words, they use their IQ for self-justification. They're better at justifying whatever they want to believe. So if they have an ideology, they may have a very weird...
I just apply my IQ to convincing other people that they should leave me alone and to just be kind to me. I mean, you can call it weaponization. It's not inaccurate, but it's my kind of weaponization.
Ideology, but they'll find ways to defend it even if it's not factually accurate. I don't know the details of the people you're studying in Arkansas, but I think that making judgments about people solely on the basis of IQ is a serious mistake.
Michael Jordan is not a genius.
I don't know Michael Jordan. I've never assessed him. I don't know that much about him. But he's a good example of someone with adaptive intelligence. Mm-hmm. And in terms of adaptive intelligence, I mean, wow, he's done a great job.
Anyways, back to Eric and the fed up whites of the Arkansas wilderness.
What do you think was modern white America's Treaty of Versailles moment?
I guess the Civil Rights Act.
There's a basis for equal rights under the law, and that was kind of the nominal intention of the civil rights movement. But it went way beyond that and has ended up restricting people's freedom.
Well, see, here the thing is that, in today's society, yeah, Civil Rights Act, valid in that it was an objective attempt to give people, equal rights in the law. True. The difference is that when we're assessing, current social context, you have to accept that there are people that believe in race obsession as opposed to race blindness that are controlling movements like BLM.
Freedom.
One counter argument that I would make to that is that, in the 1940s and 50s, World War II ends, all the returning veterans come home. The GI Bill allows returning veterans to get low-cost mortgages on new homes. This is when Levittowns were being built and suburbs were being constructed at a very rapid rate. Cul-de-sacs were sprouting up and the American dream was hatched. White picket fence, nuclear family. Now the Homeowners Loan Corporation, which basically decided who could live where, had racially restrictive covenants that said only white people can live in this area. Minorities can't live. They can only live in certain red-line zones. Civil Rights Act comes in '64 after redlining had already began, after deindustrialization made the urban cores of places like Philadelphia, Chicago, and Detroit barren, and there was a mass transfer of wealth into surrounding suburbia. So what do you think about the notion that by the time the Civil Rights Act was passed, they already had the short end of the stick?
I would say that they were not at an advantage, obviously. The expectation that the black community should have reached parity in a generation is crazy. Obviously, that would be impossible. It'd require massive top-down social engineering and redistribution of resources. Now, we have done that over the 20th century, but I think we overcorrected.
Well, for example, like small business loans, right? Like there was something that they sort of blew the water off of like 6 months ago or something like that. And it's basically a fact that if you're not a white male, like you're getting like, I forget the exact numbers, so don't hold me to it, but like $90,000 more to start a small business just because you're a minority. You know, as a white male, you're putting so much more back into the system and we're getting less and less out. It's basically parasitic.
In limited cases, maybe when it's historically verifiable that this person was a slave on this plantation, that plantation,
See, I do like folks that draw the line at like, you know, folks that were told they couldn't have certain jobs because of the color of their skin. Like, not trying to be a whingy bitch, but my grandfather, not that far long ago. And again, I think that should have gone to him, not to his ancestors, because like apparently everyone else found a way to be just fucking fine. But in his case, if he were still with us, like him being issued a compensation for being refused for jobs because of the like prejudice and the color of his skin means more to me than like, you know, again, my family was not enslaved. Like my family freed slaves. They rolled up by the islands where my lineage comes from, and when they tried to set up shop to make the slaves work, my ancestors, little bit of fucking shade here, slaughtered people. The shade goes to my ancestors because I wish that death was never the answer, and it was the answer that was chosen at that time. I wish for a world where it's never an answer anyone has to take. I find it to be reprehensible. So, you know, that's just a me thing.
the wealth went to this person. You know, if it's all on the books, then I think that's fair. Actually, some cases of reparations of that kind have taken place. So I'm all for that. But there's a more general narrative that black people are where they are in society today because of continual systemic oppression and white supremacy. And I don't think that's true at all.
Do you think there's any solution in America politically that could lead to a reduction in homicides in a place like Baltimore?
I think the options are remigration or death penalty.
It should be noted that...
I mean, yeah, okay, so the person saying remigration or death penalty would fix homicides? I mean, yeah, if we just, like, didn't let people out or executed them for the, you know, sort of the Mount Rushmore of violent crimes, murder, rape, robbery, and assault. Yeah, I mean, honestly, I'm usually very opposed to folks dying under any consequence. I'm gonna say with a bit of an emotional heavy heart in this one, if someone told me they were only going to put, like, rapists and murderers to death, I'd probably just, like, smile and then feel bad for smiling. But I'd probably smile and be like, yeah, that's fine. And then I'd have to snap myself into it and say, wait, can't we just, like, put them in jail with minimum wage and make their wage go to, like, compensation for the victim? And, like, they're not coming out, so just, like, compensate the victim, like, make them learn appropriate skills, but do not let them out into normative society ever.
RTTL's opposition to the Civil Rights Act is beyond an ideological one, and it's Martin Luther King Jr.'s ghost itself that could come back and f*** this place up. You see, the 1964 rulings included something called the Fair Housing Act, which was designed specifically to stop things like this from happening. Isn't the fair...
Currently, they don't make a minimum wage in jails. That's the thing that, like, you know, that I would mention in this explicitly is, like, yeah, they don't get that. If they got minimum wage for compensation for their victims, like, that's fine by me. But also, if people got the death penalty for murder, rape, robbery, and assault, and I was born into a world where that was the thing, and that's what people got put to death for, I'd probably be more hard-pressed to be bitchy, you know? But I still think they should just have life, a trial, their fucking shit presented appropriately by I don't care if it's a judge or a jury or their peers. Like, I just do think that they should be treated appropriately in the sense of, please get them the fuck out of society. Don't let them fucking out. But also, make them work. Like, minimum wage at least, because they currently don't make minimum wage. Make them at least get minimum, so they can pay their victims back. And it doesn't have to come from the state's coffers all the fucking time.
Housing Act.
Or make them pay it back to the state's coffers. With no, like, in non-violent offenders, I think they should be able to do that and probably put it into a fucking, like, and put it into a escrow for them for when they get out. so they may have a future and reduce the chance they're going to offend again. But the violent offenders, murder, robbery, and assault people, honestly, fucking salt the fucking earth they breathe on.
Technically supposed to restrict this kind of thing?
Well, no, because there are exceptions for private associations, and we're not selling real estate. When people buy a share in the company that owns the land here, they're not getting a deed to land. They're getting the right to homestead in our community.
All the initial LLC members, they paid the...
Maybe teach them finances, let them learn how to do the stock market, let them learn how to fucking take care of their home themselves, the non-violent ones, you know? But then for the violent ones, maybe, just maybe, society deserves better.
The real estate company directly through the escrow agent.
Unlike a residential development, which is owned by a real estate company that must follow fair housing guidelines, RTTL is an LLC, a limited liability corporation, technically operating on a commercial property that was once owned and zoned by a logging company. So the settlers there are actually partners in the company who must apply with the board to be shareholders.
So you basically buy stock in a company, and then that in turn gives you usage rights for the land.
Right, shares in a private company.
And company boards can refuse the sale of shares.
Okay, you know what? That's clever of them. They're at least viewing as an LLC, so they can refuse people they don't want, and they just buy a share in the land. That's like, be bitchy if you want. I'm always whingy, but it is clever.
To whoever they want. They're not explicitly legally required to give a reason why. You see what they did?
I mean, obviously...
small or companies like under 15 people, you're entirely allowed to discriminate based upon people's skin color if you want to still. So, honestly, I'm not that fucking surprised.
European heritage is very important to us, and you'd be surprised, really, by the number of people that, despite knowing that, they'll get through the interview. I've asked them about their ethnic background, and then they mention, oh yeah, but I have a Colombian wife. It's like that kind of thing. It's kind of contrary to our values as an association.
What if the Colombian wife is like 100% Spanish blooded?
Well, then it's probably fine.
How much did that first share cost?
About $6K.
It's pretty low.
I think that was for about like 3% share in that.
Wait, $6K for homestead and space? That's good fucking price. Yeah. Damn, bro.
How much do you think it cost you overall to get to this current?
Like a rural development loan and that, brother. Man alive.
Point.
Not too much compared to like a normal house.
And how close do you feel like you are to true self-sufficiency where you wouldn't technically have to leave?
Pretty far away from that. It's a good goal. This is our first year really here, so let's just like adding one piece at a time.
You could build a small cabin or have a building delivered for $5,000 to $10,000. So that plus the cost of the share itself, you could really reasonably get started with about $50,000.
Is your goal ever to pave these roads, or do you?
Honestly, $50,000 to start up? Like, bro, again, like one rural development loan away, and you can build a fucking house. It's not bad. It's quite clever. Again, they're like writing this in the appropriate way to abide by legality. So, and also, I don't like the fucking racialization around presumptuous IQ scores, because like that is really weird, and again, as person mentioned, remarkably inadequate for actually measuring someone's applicability in society. But moreover, like outside of the parts that I don't vibe with, I do see a lot that I can vibe with. Like at least trying to follow the law of the land where you fucking lie. That is important to me. And, them being afraid in a world that tries to demonize them for the color of their skin, like I can't have hate for them trying to find the sense of safety. Well, the moment people stop trying to use, and I quote, white, end quote, like a slur, I might give them some shit. But at present, when people are still doing this viciously and destructively, can't even be that angry. Can't really be mad at all, honestly. I want people to stop doing it too. I find it to be disgusting and reprehensible. I wouldn't take it if someone were to be like, fuck any group for any immutable trait in general, unless you happen to be a fucking dumbass, in which case, go fuck yourself. But like outside of that one, that's a chosen trait, honestly. That's not a thing you fucking get born into. Dumbassery is being able to do better and choosing not to selectively, so, fuck that. Spooky Steve, go fuck yourself, man. I got it.
You kind of like the rugged Appalachian feel.
No, one day if we could pave all these roads, it would be awesome.
Yeah.
But Orania in South Africa, they have 3,000 people. They bought an already existing town, and then developed from there. And even they still have dirt roads. So it's going to be quite a while before we get these paved.
It should come as no surprise at all that they chose Arkansas for this project. It's a red state with low government oversight and a bunch of its own problems. Plus, the settlement is ungodly far from any population centers. It's hard to explain just how in the sticks this place truly is. The closest town is called Hardy, over 20 minutes away by car, and home to less than 1,000 people, only one of whom is black.
The locals didn't really have an issue with us. We've had good relations with most of our neighbors from the start.
There's a lot of people out here that I guess live and let live, you could say, which I appreciate that.
Still though, despite the lack of local pushback, there is some concern that with this national news media attention, legal trouble could be imminent.
Potentially, the biggest hurdle is the legal hurdle. There's going to be a lot of legal challenges, I think, to go through with this sort of thing.
We've not been sued or fined yet, but we do expect that. People have made complaints to government departments.
If anyone threatened them, I am going to be so fucking pissed off. Like, I don't have to agree with the racialism, colorism shit. I don't. Ever. But if I find out that someone threatened these folks, I am going to shit down their fucking neck.
We've had requests for information from government departments. So I think investigations are happening, and we'll have to wait months to really find out.
Even with potential legal complications on the horizon, most people there feel like it's worth it. On the settlement, there's a tinge of nihilism in the air. Most people feel like the country at large is doomed.
I don't think that there's like good political solutions for it now. I mean, that's why I'm here, right? I think actually like people being present and like putting in the labor, kind of like I'm doing, not to toot my own horn too much, but like every single day and living in a lifestyle that's more conductive to community is probably going to be the way forward.
So do you see places like this, return to the land settlements, sprouting up across the country as a potential way to actually counter the demographic shift?
I don't think it will counter the demographic shift as a whole. I think it will provide safe places for my kids and grandkids to grow up valuing their culture, and that's what I'm going for. You know, that's my goal.
I think the solution looks something like what we're doing here. I think that's probably the best course of action.
I think the best we can hope for with politics is just to be left alone. I don't think realistically with the electoral maps we're looking at right now, there's ever going to be Uber-based gets elected. Nick Fuentes actually could probably do a pivot which I think he's already kind of doing, where he focuses less on the race question, more on Israel, and gets a broader coalition for electoral politics, so it's possible, but I don't think it's going to be like the next Führer or anything.
And right now there are several communities being organized. One of the things I've been up to,
I'm gonna try to rack up the projectile multiplication in this so hard. Thank you all for letting me be your shithead streamer. I'll be reacting to a little bit more before I get off. I'm going to be a goober.
lately
I'm probably going to play some Helldivers after this for a teensy bit, honestly.
getting ready to go to all of those sites where there are groups of people who want to do this and help them get organized, help them, decide who their board of managers will be for their companies that'll own their land. So yeah.
I left the settlement confused and honestly a bit sad. I mean, I know there's been problems and stuff, but it felt like shit was kind of all good not that long ago. The fact that people nowadays will go to such lengths to feel seen and heard is a symptom of a far greater social ill than meets the naked eye through this video. The American experiment is beginning to crack in new ways, and armies of the confused are shaping and writing the narrative. If I live a long and healthy life, I truly wonder how things will look when I'm 80 years old, and if I'll be equipped to explain to the youth of the future where and how we went wrong, or if we were ever right in the first place. I guess time will tell.
Channel 5 live worldwide, Hollywood and Vine. Fuck the authority, Channel 5 News. Channel 55. We don't fuck with custers. And 5 is the best number.
All this talk about heritage got me thinking. Andrew Callahan. What's Callahan? Who are my heroic ancestors? Were they heroic at all? Were they racist? Were they cowards? I had to figure it out. Thank you, sir. Then I remember Callahan is an Irish name. I am Irish. So I feel like after this strange RTTL experience, I owed it to myself to figure out ¿Qué onda que pasa?, which means what's up in Mexican. So I decided to take a trip to the old country and figure out what the heck's going on with Ireland. And more specifically, what are young people in Ireland doing to preserve the Irish language? Here's a preview of that.
All the bad shit that Britain and its colonies did around the world, they kind of practiced on Ireland first.
They tried to get rid of all Irish speaking, and it was all English for a couple of 100 years.
Some of my very earliest memories are intense shame because we were speaking Irish at home.
That is the cause of language death all over the world.
But I mean, the real credit for the Irish language revival goes to these families who refused to break that chain in the first place, who kept the language alive, for us in particular, because we're from the north.
In the north of Ireland, what you had was quite a high concentration of Protestant people, so you had sectarianism. So if you were an Irish Catholic, which meant that you were effectively an indigenous Irish person, you couldn't access education, you couldn't vote, you couldn't own land over a certain size, you couldn't speak the Irish language.
If you want to see our entire documentary, Inside the Revival of the Irish Language, it is available right now. It's over 1 hour and 15 minutes, has a truly glorious cast of characters featured. We got Kneecap, we got Blind Boy, we got Irish language broadcasters from across the Gaeltacht areas in the country. We got principals, we got more rappers and singers and teachers and scholars and random ass people on the street. I love the Irish, I had a great time. And you can see this whole documentary right now at www.patreon.com/channel5. And it's uncensored, uncut, extended Irish glory. As many of you guys know, we are a totally independent, primarily crowdfunded news organization based here in the United States, a country in collapse where nobody trusts the media and podcasters have replaced TV anchors as the primary source of reliable information, which is kind of good in some ways, but horrible in other ways. Anyways, we need your help. And our Patreon is $5 a month, but it powers
I'm the media now. Don't forget.
the operation. Patreon.com/channel5.
Wish I could tell you how it makes me feel as someone who was born and raised in authoritarian China and did everything I could to escape that. And I came here and I found him.
So, is there a country that's done socialism the way that you like?
I would say China is probably the closest to an example that we should follow.
I like how Caleb Hammer handled this when he would draw a staunch delineation between Maoist China and modern China, or our contemporaries rather of modern China. I think it was a very good way to analyze it. I give it, my hat goes off to Mr. Caleb Hammer. He uploaded it to his Caleb Hammer live channel. Really good, really well presented. I'll try to get the link for you in a sec.
As someone who was born and raised in China, this isn't the first time I've heard someone in the West talking up the Chinese government. It's usually not something worth making a video about, but this time it's different. This time, Hassan Piker, the American political commentator, said something different. What he said was sophisticated, nuanced, extremely deceiving Chinese propaganda.
I think that
This is it. Found it. I'll link it in the thingies too, just because I brought it up and may as well. So it pissed him off too, and he took a lot of time to be very patient with this, and it was live, so that's pretty cool. I respect that. Oh, it didn't pop my transcripts open? Bitch. Here we go.
Executed people. Mao did not get it. Mao is communism considered a good thing to millions of people in this country when it was objectively just as bad.
I need to run it back a
if
little
we're
bit.
just being objective. The handsome guy, when I heard a few, hundreds of thousands of executions, for some reason that number hits harder because it almost like we can't picture millions. It's like not a real number, like it's a real number, but we can't picture it.
Right.
But if you actually sit down and think, I mean, okay, you know what that is? That is like 15% of the entire United States population. Imagine causing the death of 15% of the United States population, 15 to 20%. I'm so confused. I am so confused. I think, for what it's worth,
6 million is an estimate based upon the lowest possible number. Don't forget the Roma and random gay people that were also slaughtered. 6 million? Lowballing. But it is what is provable. Not the shredded records. Not anything that was fucking tossed. That's just the lowball.
the handsome guy, Mr. Hassan. I think he is monetized. I will congratulate him from a business perspective. He has monetized his audience very well. He is a very successful streamer. He's done a lot of things well, and I'm sure throughout the years, because I don't want to just latch on to one bad thing and a lot of things. I'm sure he's actually called some attention to some pretty important things. You know, I'm sure he has. If we're just being objective about it. But I will never understand in our culture how we all agree that H is bad, Nazis bad, fascism not very good. Why do we not treat that equally to just as horrendous people? Why is communism considered a good thing to millions of people in this country when it was objectively just as bad? Just as bad. I don't get it. Mao was a mass murderer. Mao starved people. Mao executed people. Mao did not allow dissent.
Yeah, and I think that segues into this, but his trip was framed as a corrective against the U.S. propaganda about China.
Modern China,
absolutely. But he contrasted the Chinese achievements since Mao. You know, he interviewed prominent state figures. He called China a mixed market economy that is far more tolerant than portrayed, despite the ongoing genocide allegations.
Which he was paused twice by authority, right?
He was.
They cut his internet once and they paused him in Tiananmen Square.
They did.
Also, it oftentimes gets overlooked in this. I don't think the answer is the one that I would have picked, but when you do have some Islamic extremists saying they will take nations by the womb, modern China's answer of forced sterilization, again, far from the answer I would have picked. I can see how you get there, but I would never do such a thing to anyone, under any circumstance. I'd find the fucking root of it, find the people saying obscene and inappropriate shit, and I'd penalize them. But that's a step. That's a fucking step.
So, not really what I'm picking up is the most freedom of speech area. Also, people talk about how homelessness and stuff doesn't exist there. It's not even close to true. And in a lot of the big cities where you go to the nice tourist areas, yes, there is a lot of things that China, they keep it clean, they keep it nice. That is true. And they build like crazy. But the youth unemployment rate in China is like 25%. It's like
it's really high.
It's horrible.
It's really
the kids in China have no future. They have a declining birth rate, declining population. They fell to India because they fuck like crazy. They just can't stop, you know. And the China's they will pass the GDP overall of the United States and probably by 2050, but we will pass them again by 2100 because they are a declining population. They are a slowing down economy. Their youth has no future. Their transition to the services-based economy was too quick. It's not. I don't know. They have a full real estate collapse. I don't know how Hassan could be fully glazing them. I think there are things to celebrate, and I could agree with this on Hassan. Hassan, I will agree. China did something incredible.
Road infrastructure, subway infrastructure, logistically making that happen. The way that it's intended to go of like uplifting people and giving them actual means to getting between cities. Yeah, no, fucking well done. Long-term planning for civic engineering as well. Fucking killing it.
Incredible. They took an agrarian society work. Everyone, the vast majority was in poverty, and they built a relatively middle-class nation. That is something that can be celebrated. They have implemented more freedoms than they had, not even close to what the United States is. They've done a lot of really good things that we can celebrate for the sake of humanity. They've also done a lot of shit stuff and to just glaze them and not even acknowledge what is, one, not working economically, factually, and two, what has been horrible for humanity. What the fuck are we doing? That makes no sense. When you're
like, a lot of times folks from the States will bring up the little clip about a subway being built in the middle of nowhere without the context of that was about to be a very quickly and rapidly built up place for people, because it ended up being
our entire content and ideology is West is bad no matter what, anything else is good. You don't come from a place of objectivity. You don't.
And he has made a lot of money.
And like also the Netherlands, another good example of being able to contrast shit appropriately. So you'll see in the Netherlands that there are solar railways, which again, a complete and utter wash because they're covered in dust. There's constant room for microfracture. There's degradation of the service consistently, but this was sold to the government at a very high price. And when you actually take a moment to think, you're like, oh, they'll be covered in dust. They'll be occluded by trains. That's not the best place. Putting solar on that environment, not the greatest. You would have done slightly better putting it on top of the train so the vacuum of air could wisp away some dust, but legitimately still not the best. Secure, stable installations that allow for that kind of thing, way better. Making solar railways so fucking dumb. I can't even.
And doing something in America that you would not otherwise be able to do in China.
Honestly, and then again, the States, like we sat on the cusp of being able to monetize nuclear fusion, not fission. People are scared of fission, but fusion we have not done at large scale yet. We have the ability to make fuel for nuclear fusion generation here. And that's Palo Alto Labs, hat off to them. And so for what it's worth, we have the ability to sell nuclear fusion component, the most expensive fucking fuel. We sit on it. We don't even engage with it presently. Congress is trying to push us off till 2030s. And that is really shitty because currently France is killing it. The information and research is public. And if China gets to it faster, good on them. Because if you want to bring a whole civilization out of middle class and destitution entirely, being able to sell nuclear fusion component, oh my gosh, bro. Like when I say that is the most expensive fucking energy store ever, bro. People talk about oil like it is fucking godly rather. Let me tell you a thing or two. Those materials are in limited supply on fucking Terra, but we have the way to make more of them ad nauseum. We do not have to stop. You can pump those out. Research is out there. Anyone can access it. If a nation wishes to beat us to it, especially with current China's desire to surpass the United States in GPU development, bro, slap that down, fucking start hosting, be the biggest cloud provider known to humankind. Bro, you can do it. Like, there is nothing stopping you.
If you speak out about, it's one of the great things about America. You can say whatever you want.
You can even use less efficient on energy, but more efficient on fucking every other resource, fucking cooling options, and then just fucking revel. Like, it opens up so much. The United States wants to keep a supremacy in AI. Well, that works as long as you can be the silicon provider and the energy provider. But the second that dithers away, have fun resting in piss, bro.
And there's really no backlash because we do have that freedom of speech. If you do that in China,
your day's
good fucking luck.
Yeah,
good fucking luck.
Camps, which was researched and found in 2019 at the campaign's height in the Uyghurs in West China, and 1.8 million people detained in those concentration camps. 540,826 people formally prosecuted, and with a 99.9% conviction rate, because also remember that whole freedom thing? Yeah, that's why I'm glad we have the court of laws, even as messy as it is here. At least you get trial by your peers. 99.9% conviction rate, not really something to be proud of, because not everyone who's arrested, not everyone who is charged, not everyone that is in the system has done something bad. I would think that Hassan would typically advocate for that, especially among low drug or first offense crimes.
Right.
So 99.9% conviction rate, I don't think we should be celebrating on that. 5 to 10% death rate in the camps. Death rate in the camps.
Yikes.
225 documented death is documented, so it's much more higher than that. Current modern day China, forced sterilization. They're trying to redo that, but it's still between 2017 and 2019 in the Uyghur majority areas. Birth rates plummeted 50% due to forced sterilization. 60,000 plus sterilization procedures. 135 factory facilities identified within camps with forced labor, similar to the Holocaust without actual gas chambers. And we're gonna glaze? You can't do West bad. You can't do West bad. I understand some of the deforestation stuff and a lot of the things we see going on right now, where you see the camps of people under aluminum foil and separation of families. I understand if him and his politics and everything, we're going to fight against that and you want to call that bad. Okay, sure. But you cannot say that bad and not call out China for doing thousands of times worse. Thousands.
And you also really can't equate it to what happened during the between 1939 and 1942 or 1945-ish. That is inappropriate, immature, and has no lens for history as it stands. I'm sorry, that is not the same.
It's at times worse with their camps. You can't. It's hypocritical. It is hypocritical. I don't understand. And especially as a Muslim himself, the Uyghurs, Muslim, they did demolition of sacred Islamic sites, modern day China, in Western China. Bans on religious dress and practice. That's our place of freedom. That's the new freedom country where you can do more things. You can, dude. Even in Texas, and I know Greg Abbott's trying to stop this. There's fucking fully Islamic towns. You heard of Dearborn, Michigan? Trump hasn't sent in the nuclear bomb. We can't do that here. Come on. If we're being objective, I know the content and money is West is bad, but being objective here, dude, you cannot say China is better when it comes to your own religion, especially. Come on. People literally killed themselves in China during the COVID lockdown because they were locked inside.
They were like bolted, like actually locked inside. Not like us where it was like, oh, like I have to go to Target once every 2 weeks now. Like, no, like they literally like welded people into their homes.
Modern China is repressing Tibet, the Tibet region. Mm-hmm. You don't see the United States government repressing Puerto Rico, Hawaii, Alaska. You might disagree with some of the environmental stuff in Hawaii. That's fine. You can have that opinion. We're not repressing them. We're not doing mass arrests and mass phone searches and mandatory surveillance apps implemented on their phones. You don't see that in the place of actual freedom, United States. You don't see that. What the fuck are we doing? Around 1 million Tibetan children forced into mandatory boarding schools, separated from families. Remember how we're angry about separating families in our immigration camps? Yep. But we're not upset about, forcefully separating 1 million children in Tibet? Like, what are we doing? What are we doing? I think people like Hassan, Destiny, Charlie Kirk, Ben Shapiro, those political talking heads, have
it wraps up soon. I promise.
Monetized the vision, and it really kind of sucks. I think people like Hassan, Destiny, Charlie Kirk, Ben Shapiro, those political talking heads, have monetized the vision, and it really kind of sucks. It really kind of sucks because when you get to the extremist point, I don't think Ben Shapiro is necessarily extremist. Nick Fuentes certainly is. That's for sure on the far right, and there's a lot of far right. What's the dude's name who we got invited on a show?
Steven Crowder.
Yeah, he's on the far right. Okay, so far right. So he's far right. Hassan's far left. Destiny's more just to the left. You know, he's still capitalist and stuff like that. But I don't like what the political talk has happened in this country where it's just divided people. I really don't. It's been monetized and it's divided. If we are in a point right now where everything has to be West good no matter what, or West bad no matter what, China good no matter what, China bad no matter what, and we can't just sit and objectively talk about actual metrics and things that have happened, then you're an extremist, and I fucking hate that shit. So, you can continue, but my final thought on this just kind of upset me, because the Nazis did a lot of bad things. Mr. H did a lot of bad things. How the fuck are we not holding that same amount of anger, same amount of discourse, same amount of objective criticism to Mao? No one dressed up as Hitler to the Streamer Awards, and they would be destroyed if they did. Same thing should happen if you dress up as Mao. And that's not an anti-Hassan thing. That's if anyone did. Just saying. So what else happened at the Streamer Awards?
There was some drama with
lifting 800 million people out of extreme poverty is an incredibly impressive feat. Being able to develop this country in the aftermath of colonial extraction, World War II, infighting, and civil war, and to become a competitive force that is slated to overtake America in a multipolar world is very impressive. And I think we should learn from that in the United States of America. We should look to that and learn some lessons from that. And that's the reason why I always try to use China as an alternative, as an example.
I can't tell you how just weird it is to hear someone who looks like...
Do you think he did all this because he's mad that Asman is popular in China and the States? And he's just moldy?
Him repeats what my Chinese teacher said when I was 12. It felt so surreal that I thought I was back in China as a Chinese student in a Chinese classroom. Except Hassan Piker was not born in China. He was not subject to Chinese education. He was actually born in the US, and he got a US education. I've actually never heard of Hassan Piker before his China-related content blew up. He has recently done several quite high-profile interviews where he talks about how he admires China and how we should all learn from their way of governing. After going to a trip to China, which many said was paid by the Chinese Communist Party in the first place, I'm going to debunk some of his most deceiving and sophisticated propaganda on China that he knowingly or unknowingly spread to the public. But first of all, who is Hassan Piker? He's branded himself as this progressive leftist pundit, and his audience, which is huge, he has millions of followers on Twitch, on YouTube. His audience is mainly Gen Z or millennial men. He also appeared alongside politicians, people like AOC.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have Bernie Sanders and AOC in the building.
And interestingly, at the time I'm filming this video, he was invited to the UBC, the University of British Columbia, as a guest lecturer. For those of you who are not familiar with Canadian universities, UBC is one of the most prestigious universities in the country, especially when it comes to international studies. So he is objectively very successful, which is why I think his opinions on China is worth exploring.
When you are getting the poorest of the dispossessed masses out of a situation where they were servile, the landed gentry, or they were peasants from an agrarian society, or they were dominated by the landlords, but then ultimately they were able to come into modernity and become like a powerhouse, an industrial powerhouse that is competitive with the largest superpower on the planet. I would say if that's the point of good governance, China is probably the closest. There are still plenty of failures within the Chinese system as well, plenty of issues within the Chinese system as well, but that's probably the closest, I would say, to an example that we should follow and lessons that we should learn from. China is not
I honestly can't stand this argument because it's just simply misinformation and it's carefully packaged. And I want you to know that this type of narrative is extremely effective because it is a good story. Who doesn't love a story of triumph? Who doesn't love a story that tells you no matter how poor you are, there is this communist party that can give you what you've always wanted and you don't have to be poor anymore? Who doesn't love that? Except it's not true. Communism is not why China got rich. Capitalism is. The economic boom only started after the CCP loosened control and allowed market reforms, aka capitalism. That's what got us out of that shithole that we were desperate to get out of. I'm so riled up whenever someone else like him, who doesn't know anything about our history, is basically spreading misinformation with a confident face. And here's an important detail that a lot of people miss, even for seasoned China watchers. The policy ushered by the Chinese Communist Party, the open and reform policy, it was started by local farmers and villagers. Local officials and villagers experimented with semi-capitalist practices because people were starving. Why were we starving? Because of the Chinese Communist Party and their communist policies. And when the local farmers or the villagers experimented with this new policy, they were doing that illegally. And the central government turned a blind eye at first. When they actually saw the results, they said, okay, we'll go along with it. So it's actually the Chinese people who defied communism that saved the country, not the Chinese Communist Party. And if you want to see your children and your parents starve to death, by all means, try communism.
I wouldn't say that China is a communist, and neither would you, but it's run by a communist party. And so far, they have seen a pretty successful...
I absolutely love this person's content. Like, they are covering Hassan quite well. And I think I'm not the worst segue bitch.
Successful, robust level of growth and development overall. They have analyzed the failures of previous communist and socialist formations, and they have responded to it in their own.
If you want to come be fodder for Illuminati with me, you can come play if you want. Like, I'm playing on Helldiver. I really want to fucking unlock, like, the last game mode. I think that'll be really fun. So I'm just doing that today. Fail or not, I'm doing it.
Way.
This sounds nuanced and even sounds smart, but again, it is wrong. Hassan...
It's easy to sound smart, it's hard to be smart.
...is trying to justify the legality of an authoritarian regime. And by the way, this is an argument that's used by the Chinese Communist Party repeatedly.
Yeah, I think you're back in time a little bit because, like, we entirely went to Caleb Hammer to cover that. And this person themselves explicitly said that China in its current state was saved by farmers defying the old regime and doing capitalism in a small area. And the whole party wanted to follow in line to bring people out of starvation.
To its own people and to the rest of the world. We got China rich, so we don't need a voting process. We don't need democracy. We got you rich, you gotta do what I tell you to do. Whenever I hear that argument, I think people miss the difference between the Chinese Communist Party and the Chinese people. The Chinese Communist Party actually put us into poverty and put the Chinese people through so many atrocities that you just can't even imagine. The minute they stepped back and loosened their control, we thrived. It's like they robbed you of, say, $1,000, and then they give you $10 back, and then they tell you, you got rich, you were poor, you didn't have any money, and now you have $10 back. Look at us, look at how great we are.
Let's play strong. I should have moved it more to the center.
And in
We're gonna
the
waste some
process
time.
of us getting that $10 back, by the way, it is at the expense of the Chinese people's well-being, where we're not being paid well. There's corruption.
Oh, it's okay.
There's brutal oppression of people who want democracy in China. The wealth, the prosperity, it is not because they were in power. It is because they partially retreated themselves. And look at what they're doing now. The second they feel threatened by the Chinese people's wealth, what do? They rein in. Hassan Piker's whole brand is built on shitting on the American government, shitting on democracy, shitting on capitalism, when everything he has is because of them. He is able to build a brand that is highly critical of his government because he has the luxury of doing that, because he has the freedom to do that. He will not have that in China. He will not have that in Venezuela. And don't get me wrong, I think any government deserves a little bit of self-criticism. That's one of the reasons I went to journalism school. But to go so far as to say that
It's really funny that Hassan, who brings up journalism school so much, is getting appropriately and well-informedly roasted by someone who went to journalism school. I find that to be fucking hilarious.
everything China does is good and everything that the US does is wrong is just absurd. I hate to break it to you, Hassan Piker, communism is not going to save you. Communism is not going to save your followers. And for people like him, their problem is that they think they're the good guy. They fall for this narrative because they want to be the good guy. And communism sounds like that, except it's everything but. It is not about being the good guy. And I'm so worried about the younger generation here in North America. They're not going to remember what happened in Tiananmen Square. It happened such a long time ago that the younger generation, they don't understand. They grow up watching people like Hassan Piker. They grow up watching TikTok. And who owns TikTok? China does. And their parents, people in the West, they have never experienced far left. Many of them refuse to believe such thing exists.
It froze.
They are worried about the far right, and they're right. We should worry about extremism.
Quick restart.
On both sides.
Yeah, partisanship is a place where extremism finds itself right now. Extremism, no matter who is implementing it, is foul. It is reprehensible, it is disgusting, it is foul. It is wielded in a bipartisan lens, which is why I kind of do shit on ground news so much for only parroting a bipartisan fucking view of the world, even considering that the only options are center, left, and right. It's like very oversimplification. It's oversimplified to a detrimental extent. If you breed people in a society that only recognizes left, right, and center, you breed people who can't see that there are 3 dimensions to things. There are folks that will project themselves in 4th, rather, so I'm not to bring in imaginary numbers as a reference, but quite honestly, like if you only see the world in 3 dimensions, you're going to miss that there's a 4th, which again, imaginary numbers is really good for exhibiting. To be fair, little tangent for where it's worth, we like one of my favorite observations is that we might, like anything in a 5th dimension might be more apt to see things in a 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 6th than something in the 6th would be able to. And again, this isn't like about fucking 7th dimensional aliens. It's just about like a presumption over how reality is observed by us, the observer.
But they do not understand what it means to have a far left government when people like us who are authoritarian regimes survivors, when we speak up, we get ignored.
As Vietnamese refugee, we have endured suffering under the communist regime, and we believe
Let me normalize the volume a little bit because this is remarkably important and a very appropriate critique of Mr. Piker, while also amplifying the voice of someone who should be fucking heard. 1 second.
Us, who are authoritarian regimes survivors, when we speak up, we get ignored.
As Vietnamese refugee, we have endured suffering under the communist regime, and we believe that.
Okay, you dude. I mean, seriously.
Sorry, I need to do this. This is important. Not even in poor taste. Just absolutely important. We'll do 12 dB off the gate.
Vietnamese refugee, we have endured suffering.
There we go.
Authoritarian regimes survivors, when we speak up, we get ignored.
As Vietnamese refugee, we have endured suffering under the communist regime, and we believe that.
Okay, you dude. I mean, seriously, you old lady. Shut you stupid idiotic old lady. Who is you, America or Ho Chi Minh? Suck my old lady. God, dude. Yo, this refugee, okay? Seriously. This South Vietnamese Christian supremacist psychotic refugee living in America now and able to talk that shit. Why don't you go back and live in South Vietnam in the same conditions, if that's your perspective?
I wish I could tell you how it makes me feel as someone who was born and raised in authoritarian China and did everything I could to escape that. And I came here and I found him. I found Hassan Piker, someone with a large number of followers who obviously has a powerful voice, and he's repeating the Chinese Communist Party's propaganda so well. And the reason I wanted to start this channel is I've had enough of this. I've had enough of propaganda.
Rawr. XD nuzzles you. Woo. Mr. Obama, why do we say the things that we say? Why do those of us who were raised by the internet speak in silly riddles? Last year I made a video investigating the origins of woo, specifically how it went from being an emoticon created out of the generalized emoticon language of the 90s to being used like a word. Recently someone suggested that I should do rawrxd, and I thought that sounded like a fun challenge. Today, rawrxd is a phrase we use often to invoke nostalgia for the scene subculture, you know, emo's colorful cousin with worse music taste. Oh, to be a scene kid in 2006 commenting rawrxd on hot girls' MySpace pictures.
I need my timestamp.
Rawrxd is thought of as sort of cute, flirty, representing unashamedly cringe affection between scene kids, and the sentiment that cringe is dead in general. But why? Let's break it down. There are two elements here, okay? Rawr and XD. XD is an emoticon face, like ooh woo. I should stand on this side so you can see it better. The D is like a widely smiling, laughing mouth. The X, I think, would be literally translated as dead, but in this case it's like dying laughing. So XD is like, oh my god, that's so funny, I'm dying laughing. Oh my god, my scene bangs. My scene bangs. Can't fucking move your head with these things. XD was widely used throughout the 2000s and 2010s, basically until emojis usurped the humble emoticon. It was super normal. It wasn't associated with any particular niche or subculture. It was just a common way that people would say.
Just cringe to be cringe. We were all cringe to be cringe back then. Back in the good days. Back in the good times. Back in the before times. Before we had this fancy newfangled emoji shit, we just made it work with that good old beautiful text. Heck, some people even peddled like ASCII drawn erotic material. I'm just pointing it out, not trying to like shout it out, I'm just pointing it out. It was fucking mental, bro. Like, we didn't have the bandwidth for fancy pictures or videos, so people would just use like ASCII art to make like naked ladies. A lot, actually.
Crying laughing or dying laughing or whatever. Source, I was there. I remember 2010. Easy. We understand XD. rawr is a deeper rabbit hole though. But before we get into it, a word from this video's sponsor, Helix. It's time to get cozy for the winter season, and if your mattress sucks, well, that just won't do now, will it? Helix makes premium mattresses customized to fit your unique needs and conveniently shipped straight to your door. Everyone's different, everyone sleeps differently, which is why Helix has a sleep quiz designed to match you with your perfect mattress based on your body type and sleep preferences. If you sleep with a partner, you can take the quiz together to find something that is the perfect compromise for the two of you. Based on my results, Helix matched me with their Twilight Luxe mattress, this beautiful mattress that you see before your eyes. It is their firmest mattress. I do tend to like a firmer mattress because of the scoliosis demons that live in my spine. Helix has been reviewed against hundreds of competitors and is the most awarded. The Helix Midnight Luxe has been ranked the best overall mattress according to both Forbes and Wired. But if that's not the one for you, the Helix lineup offers 20 unique mattresses to choose from, as well as a line of mattress toppers that are designed to be used on non-Helix mattresses. So if you're looking to improve your old mattress, these are an excellent option. They've got the premium mattress topper for sleepers who are looking for added pressure relief, the Ergo Align mattress topper, which has 3 support zones to optimize spinal alignment, the dual comfort mattress topper, which is made for couples with different sleep preferences. You can also adjust the firmness of every mattress topper, which I think is pretty cool. I've had my Helix mattress for around 3 years now, and I still absolutely love it. Myself, my partner, our beautiful baby Binguses are sleeping excellently on it. And if it makes you nervous to buy a mattress that you haven't tried out in person, don't worry, because Helix offers seamless returns and exchanges. You get a 120-night sleep trial. You can sleep on this baby for 120 nights before you decide if you really love it. There's also a lifetime warranty, there are financing options, flexible payment plans. I really like my Helix mattress, so if you're in the market for a new bed, go check them out. And now is a great time to do so. If you visit my magical link, helix.com.
Let's get 3 from the easy one.
You can take advantage of their extended Cyber
We
Monday
have 5
sale
minutes.
and get 20% off site-wide. And now I return you to your regularly scheduled content. rawr. It comes from rawr.
How long is this? So I know if I have to timestamp. Okay, we have 10 minutes. I'm just gonna run it again. I'm not sorry. I should not waste time on timestamping this time. Let's
Spelling
go.
it with a W makes it cuter sounding. It's kind of cute in the same way that uwu is cute. But that does not mean that it's related to uwu. It is not, okay? Typing quirks and purposeful misspellings were really popular as a way of conveying tone and personality in a text-based medium. It probably started because texting was like kind of a nightmare in the 90s and 2000s. And to illustrate this, I have a physical artifact to show the class, okay? This is my first phone. Are you ready? Are you ready? Yes. The keyboard looks like this. This is a special texting keyboard.
I used to have one of those. So I'd roll I'd have my keyboard like that. Well, I didn't have that model. I had one with a directional pad, and so I had A, B. So I had I had A, S, Z, X, and directionals, so I could play Game Boy games on my phone, and I also installed Gentoo Linux. I did a stage 2 install on my phone, compiled from a very shitty, underpowered computer. And for me, that was the dopest. So I was doing fucking weird Linux shit when I was little, and also playing fucking Game Boy games on my phone. And I just slid out the little keyboard of my Moto Droid. Here, I can show you, 1 second. There were a lot of them released. I thought I still had my old one for the longest, because I just never got rid of it. Let's see if I can get the screenshot of the one I'm talking about. Here, I got it. This was my little phone way back when. So I'd have my, at AS, ZX, and I'd set those up as ABXY. I think it was how did I do this? Or maybe it was it was something in this area. So it was probably ZSXD, or yeah, probably ZSXD. It was definitely more than likely ZSXD, and my little my little directional pad. So I could play a whole Game Boy game on my phone, like a complete and utter goober. And way back when, this was basically worth its weight in gold. Not just because it cost an arm and a leg, but because it was fun to play games on. Oh my gosh. And I just slid my little keyboard out, and I do have my little Gentoo Linux with a terminal running on it. And I just post up and do shit. Oh my gosh, back in the day when WEP networks were prevalent, you could oh my gosh, if you were absolutely dumb as rocks like my bitch ass, you could try to crack your own wireless network from your phone. But that was a bad idea. You probably wanted to use a computer. If WP existed today with GPUs as they are, that shit would be shredded like fucking absolutely obliterated constantly. It would not exist for 2 seconds. So, back in the day, we did some shit. Could war drive with a busted up Chromebook in the back, a Yagi or a panel antenna, and your little Moto droid to type on. And you could be like so coy, because like no one thinks you're on your phone doing Linux shit, taking over a network, redirecting everyone to a like landing page that's just like a feature set of every abhorrent internet page from the day, like Encyclopedia Dramaticus Offended page. But you could. It was so dope. You could also like fucking, back then Bluetooth was a lot more fucking weak as well. So you could just like do the most obscene shit to people. Not advocating it, just saying it was what people did. It was funny. It was very funny. Don't ever do it. But yeah, no, this like little phone dinger, it's so, this was the time, bro. XD for life, bro. XD for fucking life.
This was definitely designed with like hip teens and tweens who like to text in mind. But it was still not a great experience.
I remember like 1 month, I think I like got in trouble for sending like 1,000 texts, which I thought was pretty fucking reasonable. But my parents were like, 1,000 text messages, let me see your phone. Oh bro, I got in so much trouble. I was in so much fucking trouble. I was doing shit, bro. Like I was having a good old time. I thought no one liked me. But I really don't know why I couldn't comprehend this until college, but I thought no one liked me. Meanwhile,
I used this thing until like...
It's really funny, especially in context, because like I ended up like dating someone then that I ended up dating when we were in our 30s again as well. And it's like, how am I so dense? But yeah, no, those were the days.
2014, honestly, and by then some of my
inside.
Friends had iPhones, and like there was no comparison. Okay, this was about the best it got, and it wasn't great. Of course, you're going to invent short forms and spell things as minimally and as possible when you have to type on this and that. Disrespect for the English language that was necessary when texting eventually made its way into just online communication in general. So even when using a computer with a normal keyboard, a lot of young people just wrote weirdly to distinguish themselves. I think My Immortal is an excellent specimen for studying that. Yes, it is known for its insane amount of spelling mistakes, and many do seem the result of someone who is just typing too fast. But I would argue a decent amount of the creative spellings in My Immortal are done on purpose. Proper English doesn't really suit the way that she wants to express herself, so she very freely messes with spelling and grammar to make her online writing sound more like her authentic voice and to fit her goth aesthetic. So rawr is a cute roar, but how did it become so popular? And among emo and scene kids specifically. I feel like we see rawr the most often when it comes to the phrase rawr means I love you in Dinosaur. Everywhere from Hot Topic shirts to boomer memes. It makes sense then to assume that the popularity of rawr comes from that phrase and that it was adopted as a coded way of saying I love you. But that is not correct, okay? To assume such a thing, it may seem logical, it's a good theory, but it is wrong. The use of rawr predates the phrase rawr means I love you in Dinosaur by around 5 years. How do I know this, you might ask? Where does one go to hear the authentic voices of cringe middle schoolers from the 2000s echoing?
The fucking Museum of Natural History? Is that where one goes to hear our voices from back in the Dizzity-D? I think that's where someone goes, is the Museum of Natural History. Probably.
Through the ages, to wake their skinny jean wearing ghosts and shake them down for answers.
I still have my skinny jeans.
It's fanfiction author's notes. Okay?
Based.
And what I discovered is that we were rawring in 2003, which is way earlier than I expected. The Know Your Meme page for rawrxd points to this 2004 DeviantArt post as the earliest known use of it. But as usual, Know Your Meme is wrong. I'm just kidding. Know Your Meme is a great resource a lot of the time, but for some of these more obscure ones, it's not. That is not the oldest searchable rawrxd on DeviantArt. This is the oldest searchable rawrxd on DeviantArt, and it is from 2003, like the earliest example from fanfiction.net. Both of those sites show the emergence and immediate spike in usage of rawr in 2003. We were rawring in 2003, yes, but it did not mean I love you in Dinosaur. The first evidence of rawr means I love you in Dinosaur entering people's vocabulary isn't until 2008. Sasuke-kun, do you know what rawr means in Dino language. So why then were we rawring? I have come across a 2008 blog post claiming to teach you how to talk and act like a scene kid. Some people type like this, but that gets really annoying and is best used sparingly. To say that something is very cool or the best, phrases such as that is the sex or that is the shit or so Vogue. P.S. Vogue is a fashion magazine and saying that means something is fashionable or modern. The only text talk to regular talk a scene kid is allowed to use is OMG. Do not say LOL in real life or you'll be a poser. That is not good. Scenes are known for being very random, but be sparing. No one likes the person who shouts, I like cupcakes every 2 minutes. Rawr and gur are additions, mostly used to express frustration. You are not seen if you dress and talk like one. You must be into the music too. No Jonas Brothers and skinny jeans / bright eyeliner. They don't work well together. Become invested in the local / indie scene, metal, screamo, electronica, or techno / trance. Scene gets its name from music scene. Angry commenters quickly inform the writer of this post that you can't just force yourself to dress or talk or act a certain way to fit a label. That's literally being a poser. In fact, anyone who actually calls themselves scene or emo is a tryhard poser. And if you're really just different, then you can't be categorized, okay? Which I think is a good reminder of the silliness of trying to define these things. You know, that we are imposing labels and definitions on a group of people who really didn't use them and in fact hated them. And that very few people ever fit cleanly into categories like scene, emo, hardcore, and very few people who use the word rawr ever gave it a definition. They might not even use it the same way as the next person might use it. So is it futile? Is our mission to understand rawr futile? No.
Pretty much.
No, I will not give up yet. While I agree with the unfortunate poser writer of this blog post that gur is an expression of frustration, rawr is more complicated than that. I disagree with rawr being lumped in with that, because rawr can be that, but rawr is so much more complicated than that also. In search of a true understanding of rawr, we must examine the primary sources. The first place I looked was fanfiction.net, and honestly, harrowing experience at first. Disclaimer,
Yes, my game actually shat itself again. Yes. Do I know why? No. Am I sad? Yes. Yes, I am. But does it work for input yet? Now it does.
I do not own Gossip Girl. Rawr. Rate and review. Rawr. Enjoy. Rated M for cussin' and some girl-on-girl smut. Rawr. AU. Please comment. Rawr.
Yeah, I don't know how people, like... Never mind.
Apocalypse.
I'll
Rawr.
let it play out.
Rated T for imagery, not a lemon. Rawr. Complete. Please rate and review. Rawr. Wizardmon looked out to the sea and saw... Rawr. Read it and find out what he saw. Middle-aged Gundam pilots trying to manage a rescue mission. Rawr. Slight yaoi. Another one of my sappy stories. I had to write a Cho Cedric fic, so rawr. The way that people are dropping rawr like it's punctuation, like it's an emoticon. Almost. I started to wonder, is rawr like the inverse of uwu? You know, uwu was an emoticon that came to be used like a word. Is rawr a word that has no literal definition but is used almost like an emoticon to signify tone? Somehow? If so, what tone? Like, I'm still confused.
Honestly, it's always some dirty pervert shit. Like, I'm not even bullshitting. Like, it's like 8,000% dirty pervert shit. Like, I spoiled it. You're welcome.
Used. Rawr. Haha, did I get your attention? Well, this story is about Ayame and Koga. Oh my god, okay. Okay, so, the 2000s and early 2010s were the era of random humor. It's hard to explain the appeal of this if you were not in middle school at the time, because in retrospect it is really truly annoying. Are you random? Moo, oink, rawr, see? Purple angel, gerbil, rawr, xdd. Rawr, I'm a goldfish, you know, the usual. Unicorns go rawr. Rawr certainly feels at home among these proclamations of quirky nonsense. So, is it true? Is it futile then? Is this when we give up? No. No, I will persevere a little longer. I will continue to ask, why does Sasuke keep saying rawr? Let's go back to the absolute basics, right? On the most literal level, rawr is a cute roar, or like a growl, you know, the noise of some scary animal with fangs that is also cute. So on DeviantArt, you see a lot of people using it in the captions of
Mirror was like instantly a good choice. There's like no doubt about it.
Their drawings of animals or fantasy creatures or anthropomorphic characters. You see it used a lot when people are designing their edgy original characters who they've given fangs and claws and wings and etc. And yes, She has fangs like Namek and nice pointy nails, rawr. She is also called Ninjasaurus, rawr, XD. Sometimes though, you will literally just see a picture of a normal cat captioned rawr because it's a cute animal. Okay, so these are uses of rawr that are starting to make sense. And what else
Later.
might you do if you are perhaps some kind of a creature with fangs and claws? Fight, defend yourself. There are certainly uses of rawr that reflect that. As someone in a game who never trash talks, I do find it irritating when people are all rawr at each other instead of playing the game. Rawr, XD, a sketch I did of Domon Cashew from G Gundam. Kushina being a rawr feminist ninja. What fighting style are you? A McGonagall Umbridge showdown, rawr. When Cortex was finally able to stand on his foot again, he stormed over to his minions. What are you boneheads saying about me? He roared. Rawr! Sometimes fanfiction authors will rawr at their potential audiences as a sort of gentle threat away from content they might not like. Yowie! Rawr! Be warned! Rate and review. Enjoy! No flames! Rawr! You have been warned! Rawr! Read or die! Rawr! Rawr! Don't post or steal, please. And yeah, I know I probably spelled Mirror wrong. Good. Rawr. Rawr winds up being used to express all kinds of frustrations. I'm trying to get all of my commission line arts finished today since school starts tomorrow. Rawr. XD. I look so handsome here. OMG. I want to be a guy now. Rawr. Update. I made a mistake. I deleted this one on accident.
You know, my little stipulation there seems more and more accurate, huh?
So I had to fix it.
Good at
Rawr!
this.
Damn it,
I'm
Evan!
good at
You had to stick out your tongue! Rawr almost always expresses semi-joking anger due to its cuteness. You could be saying, you stupid illiterate haters, fuck off if you don't like my yaoi, but you're not. You're saying rawr. The aggression is fake. I think pairing it with XD adds even another layer of irony or self-awareness. It's like, ooh, I'm gonna get you, LOL. You're laughing at yourself when you say that. From here, rawr becomes an expression of being jokingly edgy, scary, villainous, but also cute. Darkness will conquer all. Rawr! These edgy, scary creature implications, I think, is what makes it so popular with the, I don't know, emo scene, goth type crowd. In fact, there is a delightful amount of rawring vampires on DeviantArt. Another thing I did not expect, there's so many funny vampire selfies and vampire art. Attacks you and bites you, rawr, XD. Take this quiz or I will bite you, rawr. Maybe I was a monster. Maybe the rumors were true. So, rawr and stuff. You see a lot of poses like this, like a claw or a paw of sorts. Sometimes it's more claw, sometimes it's more paw. And people doing like growling faces in selfies. And of course, wherever you have monsters, you inevitably have monster fuckers. There are plenty of examples of rawr being used to express attraction. Sexy emo boys, rawr. I think he's hot, rawr, XD. How are you with boys? Rawr. But seriously, how are you with boys? He's so sexa, sitting there on my wallpaper, rawr. Ben decides to have fun with
old
one tall,
Windows.
dark, and handsome
Bro.
ex-con, rawr. LOL, it's my first lemon. So when you comment rawr on someone's MySpace picture, are you trying to seduce them, or fight them, or warrior cats roleplay with them? It's gonna depend on the context. To make things even more vague and unhelpful to any time travelers looking to go back to 2007, there are plenty of examples of rawr being used as an expression of just kind of excitement or a burst of energy, you know, something like, yay, awesome, excited to be here. Rawr, another one. Rawr, yay, my second quiz, I love it. My first thing on Quizazz. The title explains it perfectly. Please take rawr. Made up my own Sailor Scout, rawr, XD. Sometimes rawr is almost like an excited greeting, like, hello, exclamation point. I'm here and I'm cute, edgy. I'll update this page later, sweat, rawr. Hello, rawr, XD. I'm traditional, no computer tablets or coloring programs, etc., talking about their art. This brings us finally to rawr means I love you in dinosaur. If you Google that phrase today, one of the first pictures you will find is this one, or some variation of it. There's tons of variations of it. The original is this pencil drawing posted to DeviantArt on December 6th, 2007. However, just because this cute dinosaur drawing seems to have gotten really popular doesn't mean that it invented the phrase, rawr means I love you in dinosaur. It didn't. There is an earlier use of the phrase from March 2008 on DeviantArt.
She gets it.
And one from October of 2008 on fanfiction.net. So, although I am confident in dating this phrase to 2008, I don't know who originally came up with it, who originally posted it online. Just that popularizing it seems to have been the collective effort of artists on DeviantArt, probably other websites too at the time, who made a ton of drawings and edits inspired by it in all of their different styles. There's so many different ones out there. Finally, we have arrived at the most well-known meaning of rawr, but let us not forget all of its history leading up to that point. In the words of one DeviantArt poet, rawr means I love you in dinosaur. Rawr gives a sense of false anger. Rawr is such a cute word. Rawr. I broke a nail. Ooh. Rawr. I love you. Just rawr. Smiling cat face. Beautiful. Going to shed a tear. Our final remaining question is, how did rawrxd become a unit? Not only rawr or xd, but rawrxd. A phrase deeply rooted in scene aesthetics. What is scene, anyway? Besides emo's colorful cousin with worse music taste. To understand it, we have to understand a little bit about MySpace. This
How dare you?
Social media site which
Worse? Comparable. How dare you?
Came out in 2003 and reigned supreme until it was dethroned by Facebook in 2009. 90s, 2000s, pre-MySpace, alt music subculture already included a diverse hodgepodge of different music genres and different fashions that emulated those music genres. Emo was kind of the newest offshoot at that point. A lot of young people in those subcultures were quick to adopt MySpace. And the story goes that there were these teenage girls.
But I got in so much trouble because of MySpace. Oh my gosh, y'all. Early 2000s me. Posts on MySpace. Bye. Stepdad. Fucking full anger. Mom, on the other hand, well, baby, if you love someone, I'll love them too. Which I thought was remarkably based. Really mindful, really kind, really sweet. Love her dearly. Ooh. We're doing lightning. Oh, we're doing lightning. Oh, we're gonna fucking go for it. Oh, fucking A. Fucking tight bananas, bruh. Bruh.
Girls, mostly teenage girls. Jeffree Star was also there, and they became early influencers. They were good at looking cool on the internet, and they amassed a ton of followers. And because of the influence these kids had on fashion, taste, etc., people started to call them scene queens, as in like queens of this subcultural scene. What we would probably now call emo, but they didn't really call it then. Back then, sometimes they would call it hardcore or just the scene.
HCX, bruh.
And then that got distorted into the niche that scene queens represented, specifically being called scene, which is super confusing. Good job on that, everyone. In a 2020 interview, former scene queen Hannah Beth Merjos reflects that she and her friends were just 3 teenage girls who met on MySpace. They would have quirky photo shoots dressed up in tutus and crowns and flashing brightly colored things. We all connected because we lived close and we were in these very emo, hardcore music scenes. I used to go to shows 2 or 3 times a week. That world was my whole life. I didn't hear the term scene queen until I was 17 or 18. Yes, they were really that young, and adult men were not normal about it. That was like a really common thing with the anyway. I was with Audrey.
Yeah, very fucking true. No one was normal about it, but adult men were really fucking weird about it. That is not a fucking lie. Absolutely true as balls.
And we were doing a lot of events with this company called BuzzNet. We did Warped Tour together, we had poster signings and things like that. And I just remember girls being like, oh my god, I look up to you guys. You're like the scene queens. And I'm like, what is that? Many of the
So we're at Evasion 55%?
bands that scene kids became obsessed with were bands that actually got started on MySpace. So it was a very exciting time to be part of this thing, you know, like it was all happening. Many of the scene queens
59.
went on to date band members and
it.
become embroiled in their drama. You know, they weren't just fans. They and the MySpace community were actively creating this thing, the scene, you know? Unlike all of its predecessors, scene is native to the internet. We've always associated certain fashions with certain music, but with scene we also think of typing quirks, certain memes and internet popular art styles, MySpace's custom profiles with their patterns and glitter and stickers and flashing things and an aesthetic sensory overload that feels very reflected in a lot of scene outfits.
It's just good.
It takes the skinny jeans and studded belts and graphic tees from emo, the candy bracelets and bright colors of rave fashions. There's definitely some 80s glam in there with like, I don't think we talk about the influence of 80s glam on scene hair enough, okay? It's like this fabulous hodgepodge of music subcultures past with sparkly rainbow unicorn vomit all over it. However,
valid.
However, scene appeared and disappeared as quickly as MySpace did. A very, very bright flash in the pan. But it didn't stay dead. At the very least, the aesthetic didn't stay dead. You know, what I will call scene core fashion. Checkerboards and Monster Energy and candy bracelets. Oh boy, it's all back.
But now when people try to bring it back, it's often remarkably cringe in not the even fun way. It's cringe in the like, what the fuck are you doing, you fucking weirdo way. But, you know, we live, we move, we breathe. Life is fine. It'll be fine. Relax.
Seemingly more popular than ever. Hashtag rawring20s is what they're calling it. Rawr, XD, cringe is dead. Put your cat ears on, son, we're going to see a marching band. I've come to realize that Rawr XD is a recent creation. It's an expression of nostalgia for the scene subculture and the young internet. It's certainly something that some scene kids said, sometimes, but so did furries and weird internet kids in general. Plus, Rawr and XD didn't always used to have to go together. They so often do now because it's a caricature of how cringe kids used to speak on the internet. It's a frozen artifact compared to the dynamic ways that people used to use these expressions. That said, I would never want to discourage anyone from rawring, okay? If today Rawr XD means cringe is dead, then I am all for the hashtag rawring20s. I also think that while there is an element of nostalgia to it for some people, there are also a lot of young people who are drawn to these scene core sort of things
Mind you, I've never been called a poser. I was just random as fuck.
Because there's an inherent appeal.
Got called random, never got called a poser.
Well, they're sparkly and people like them. And scene music was kind of terrible anyway. Do you guys remember Blood on the Dance Floor? Kids, do not look that one up. My advice to future scene kids, okay, don't listen to any of the music, okay? Just take the aesthetic, incorporate even more 80s glam, stop buying fast fashion forever, make more weird art, you'll be fine.
Valid.
And that is all for now.
True. Good
Yours
call.
faithfully.
Well done.
Strange Jones. Rawr.
Rawr. Well, I mean accuracy. Accuracy on the fuck. Accuracy beyond measure. No real complaints there. None at all. Not at fucking all, my dudes. Chest. Hi. We're on for a bit longer. We might react to something else, we might not. What matters is I am pushing evasion so hard right now. We are currently at a whopping, absolutely whopping 63% evasion, which we're going to use to do great evil and for great good. Both. Definitely both. Probably more one than the other. Yeah, I'll probably get offline after a little. We might look at another thing. There's stuff I want to do. Like make a melt. Lounge around. Be a shithead. So let's try to win, I guess. First time winning Graveyard. Let's struggle for it. All back to Near and its lovely OST. Oh my gosh. Straight up beautiful. Oh my gosh. Gosh golly gee whillikers, brother. Gosh golly gee whillikers. Projectile count 1.5. Yes, please. It's just gonna go in them and ricochet, and that's what we're gonna want. We're gonna want life gain to go on top of it, and we're going to be fucking golden. Goldeny boinks. Not just mega boinks, goldeny boinks. We'll take more damage. Who doesn't want more damage? More damn for the win-win. Attack speed go up. Nice. Alright, let's start cracking them. Let's just melt. Get melted, bruh. Get fucking glassed, my guy. You moldy cheese. Ooh, more elites? Hell yes. Hell fucking yes, brother. Okay, we need to get to the rest, but let's hit this first. Extra jump, let's take 3. We're gonna put it to use, especially when we get swarmed later because I'm a bad gamer. What do you have? Crit chance by 10. Ooh, chance to heal you. Oh, yes. Let's keep pumping evasion. If we don't get hit, we don't have to worry about damage. We just want to melt. Just absolutely melt. Crits now heal us more. I need to not run away from them. They will fucking obliterate me. More projectile bounces. Based. Giga based. Where the fuck are the bosses? Like, I need to find them, because if I walk away from them, they'll, like, shoot me harder. They'll use attacks that I really can't deal with. There we go. Ooh, what you got? Ooh. More damage per kill. Just even more damage per kill than we already had, because we already had that. Now we've got 3 of the bastards. It's about to be 3 times fucking damage, bro. Just for looking pretty. Just for wearing a smile. Ooh, more evasion. What's it at now? 67. That's a start. We're gonna want it at least 80. Why 80? Because I said so. More armor. Let's go. Less damage when we take it. Alright, she-bops. Let's fucking win. Or let's lose, but let's lose with fucking glory. Oh, shrines go up faster. Nice. Swarm incoming? Perfect, bro. Perfect, brother. Perfect. Let's style on these homies. More weapon size. Let's do. And while we're at it, let's go. Let's hit this. Fuck it. This won't go poorly. More projectiles from that bow? Uh-huh. Yes, and my doings. More. Frostwalker for the win. More evasion. Let's keep pumping it. What's our evasion at now? 71. Let's keep going. Projectile speed and crit chance. We like crits. Those are nice. More evasion, please. More evasion, please. Ooh, Frostwalker, or definitely more evasion. More evasion. For a total of 75% evasion. Nice. I don't know why it made me click that. Ooh, another thingy. Ooh, boigas. Speed, knockback for the win. Okay, we need to hurry. This will go poorly if we do not. Like, this run might look good so far. If we do not rush, we are fucked. Projectile bounces goes up. Hell yes. Oops. Increased movement speed. Hell yes. That's gonna save us. We can just strafe motherfuckers now. Just melted. Giga melted. Melted in an instant. More HP. Upon taking damage, we shock them and we have invulnerability. Together, we will win. Something. I don't know what that thing is yet, but something. I don't know. 3 minutes. Let's fucking go. Pick up another magnet, because apparently I may as fucking well. 2K, let's spend. Ooh, campfire standing still heals. Beast. Let's hope this is lifesteal. Double size. Double XP gain, half crit. We'll take it. Yep, more evasion. Let's keep cooking. Bruh. Ooh. More bounces. More damage, more fast. Yes. More expediently, more quickly. However you like to toss it. I just like tossing it. Please be armor. Ooh, yes. If we have enough stun, then we're just fine. And no one can fuck with us. We touch down briefly. We do more damage while aerial. We touch down briefly to relieve some momentum so we don't crack our knees. 'Cause I'm getting old, y'all. I was saying XD before anyone tried to like do a thing with my little Motorola Razr. So I'm old, 'cause my knees. Some people refuse to accept that I'm like old as fuck already. It's really weird, 'cause like I am old as fuck. Why would you not accept that I'm old as fuck? I'm basically ancient as piss. Like what? Ooh, I can't leave them or they'll do that mega attacky thingy that sucks tits. Oh, there they are. Thank you. Please stay up there. Please continue to fail. Thank you. You know, I could just stand in this, because I regen while I'm standing. Okay, maybe not anymore. Dope. Extra shard when killing? Oh, I need a magnet. Bro, yes. More damage if they're above 90. First hits for the win. First hits, decimate the bitches. Is there a magnet on this map that I haven't touched yet? No, but we need to turn the fuck around. Right the fuck now. Oops, wrong turn. Got carried away just kind of flying. It felt really nice. Swarm incoming, your mother. This is why we went triple jump. Because this could be absolutely fucking brutal. And with triple jump, we stand a better chance at not getting rocked. Do I want to stack it all? Well, there's a nuke, so I mean, fuck 'em. More evade. If they can't hit, then I really don't give a fuck. 1 minute left, more evade. What are we at? We're at a good whopping 77%. Let's go. Hell yes, bro. Attack speed go up? Oh, thank you. More regen. Perfect, my dude. Okay, we're running out. We're done. We got it. Let's do the thing. Last key. Let's get it before they fucking swarm us. Let's get the shield while we're in fucking route. And let's hope that I don't fucking fudge it at the last fucking minute. There we go. There's our target. We don't need a fucking thing. We just need to run. Jeez. Okay, what? Oh, let's do it. Big Bob! Big Bobber, you don't take damage, do you, buddy? Big Bob the Snob. These are quick to activate. GG's. We are not getting much life regen. Sucks. Deads. Dunzo, bro. Fucking wrecked. Lifesteal would have been the big fucking clutch for us. Level 50. 17 minutes alive. Alright, what was next on our docket of bullshit? Davy Crockett docket. The quartering crossed the line? Nah, it's too fucking long. Me learning, like, Japanese in my free time? No, that's my private time. They used to make this recipe in school. It's kind of cool, kind of cool. They lied to us in high school is not Persona. I wanted to watch this with you all, so I kind of saved it for you.
Persona said it would be, because every day I take the train to school, right? I have these headphones. I literally have them up to the headphones. Persona
Oops.
In my ears, and I'm listening to Color Your Night. I'm listening to all the soundtrack. Within the inner yacht, I raise for you to edge to me. I wanna like, and then like I show up at school, right? And in the past couple of days, I maxed out my stats. Okay, my Riz stats and my charm stats, maxed out. My Riz unmatched, and my courage. Every time I go to Calc class, bro, my courage, it goes up. You know, you gotta be brave for that. You gotta be brave. These APs, bro, and like especially like my intelligence stat. Oh my god, my 4.0 GPA, my 2000 SAT score, my 2000 ACT score. I'm literally, this is a Persona reference. But the problem is, where is the beautiful bedhead coming to talk to me? I maxed out all my stats, guys. I maxed out all my stats. Where's Mystery? What's going on? Why can't I date? Like, where are all the people? Why can't I choose who to date? What's going on, guys? Why is life not Persona? What am I gonna do? If life is not Persona.
Okay, as somebody who thinks I can like understand this just a teensy bit, if it's who do you choose, then it's not like you're not struggling. You're just doing your thing. It's okay. Be picky. Fuck people. I guess somebody will learn you one day.
What am I even doing in high school? What's the point of all this? I might just like pull Makoto, you know, like, where's my Persona? if it's not Persona, and I'm listening to, I go everywhere, I have my headphones and I'm listening to Persona soundtrack. It's not working.
Yugi cheats a lot, like a whole lot, like here or here. Or
Oh no, I already watched this. No, Yugi does cheat a lot. I'll link y'all to the video because it is pretty fucking dope, like genuinely. How long do you have me? At most 20-ish minutes. Alright, nifty sauce. Let's go look at the front page of YouTube and see what obscene shit's been going on. That'll be fun. Let's do. There's a Lus video, and we love Lus. Oh my gosh. That's Caleb Hammer. Go into my fucking thingy. Caleb is fascist, says Brogan. Oh, lol. Well, that's weird. Because I think Caleb's a nice guy. I'm going to put Mr. Nux in my watch later. Mr. A to Z man in my watch later. And let's just get out of the watch later for a second. And let's just add a queue of Lus. Dope Lus. And I'll just hard put in the timestamps this time. Because why not? Rotten Mango's going into my watch later. If y'all don't watch Rotten Mango, you fucking should. Clearly. Because I say positive things about people when they're kinda awesome. We'll just do this. That's fine. That's cozy. Okay, dope. This is probably us for the night, so thank you for letting me be your shithead streamer today. I need to timestamp less. I want to eat something cozy after stream. I'm going to make a melt and probably have blueberries with my melt. Like a salad on one hand, blueberries on the other, and smiles all the way throughout. There, it's even done. I'll put them in right now.
Hey guys, I thought this part of the lawsuit was worth reading. One of the things about contributory copyright infringement would be the contributory part. Was there any communications between denims and the H-free mods? Now I was thinking text messages, emails. A H-free mod did email me, so I thought that was probably the mode of communication. But then I forgot something about Discord. So Discord is, I guess, public, private. I don't really use Discord all that much. But it is.
Okay, so TLDR, Discord users, did you know the platform owns your data? Good, because they do. You don't own your data, Discord owns your data. You post something, Discord owns it. That's one of the reasons you can't mass delete your messages. It's one of the other reasons that folks who ransomware Discord, or not ransomware, who try to like ransom data to Discord might succeed. Because all your data are belong to literally the platform. It is not yours. Once you send it over Discord, it belongs to the platform. So your DMs, your public channels, have fun. The platform owns it. Enjoy.
Is a way that you can contact a content.
I still message people on it. We talk about silly and obscene shit. So I mean, like, it's like I know it, but it's not like, you know, impacting me. So
Creator.
whatever.
And without them giving you their cell phone number or being kind of too creepy, they can communicate with you. This is going to be important because we have such communication, I believe, here. So I'm just going to read you.
Can I use this?
Debunking H-free snark mods claims of no collusion with denims. The H-free snark mods claim denims commentary is relevant to show there is no collusion between denims and H-free snark mods. This is false as explained below. During discovery, I served requests for production on denims on behalf of TEI. Some of the requests documents and communications between H-free snark mods and denim. Denims responded to the discovery request by stating she did not have responsive documents of said communications. In response to the request, Denims produced a single communication from a H-free snark mod with the Discord username of Darkius. The communication was from January 21st, 2025, and stated in relevant part, can you advertise on H-free snark before or when the content puke, i.e. the nuke, is released? I tried time to time to gather people there to join your stream, but we need you for this one so we don't boost Ethan's release. Dardius also included a screenshot of a message sent to Denon's Discord mod that stated in relevant part, So the H-free snark community is in a rock and a hard place regarding the future content puke about Hassan. There are more and more of us, and we don't want to give views to Ethan. A true and correct copy of the aforementioned communication is attached here too, which I'm showing you right now. Upon receiving and reviewing this communication, my team initiated a further investigation to determine if they could find additional material related to Dardius. One means of investigation my team utilized was to become a member of Denin's public Discord server called Denin's Fact.
It's like when people say that your Facebook isn't private, people don't listen. Again, that's owned by the platform too. People use it for scamming a fuckload, honestly. But like, no, like bro, the customer is not you. You are the product. Have fun. Enjoy, I guess.
Upon gaining admissions to Denin's factory, my team conducted a search to determine if Dardius participated in Denin's Discord server. My team typed Dardius' name in the Discord search function with the prefix from to identify messages sent by Dardius on Denin's factory. The search yielded 10 results. Relevant here are 3 messages Dardius sent on January 28th, 2025, 3 days before the nuke was publicly released. True and correct screenshots of Dardius' message from January 28th, along with the message ID and the user ID, are here attached here too and incorporated herein. In Dardius' first message from January 28th on Denin's factory, Dardius sent a screenshot from H-free Snark that stated, "Remember to just wait a bit and watch it on Denin's Twitch stream or other creators. All caps, we must not feed Ethan's engagement." And Dardius' second message from January 28th, 2025 on Denin's factory, Dardius responded to another user asking whether Denin's would host a watch party with, quote, "I hope we do. I'm marketing like crazy for it." Whoa, geez. Let me repeat this again. I'm marketing like crazy for it. Does that sound like contributory? Yeah, it does.
Damn, bro.
And Dardius' third message from January 28th, 2025 on Denin.
And no one even covered their tracks. That is fuckballs hilarious. Anyways, lol kakwa. Lol kakwa, my dudes. Big ol' lols. Oh, they're about to fucking destroy me.
Factory.
I'm too far. They're going to use their other attack.
Responded to a user who questioned Dardius' mention of marketing with, quote, "promoting, sorry, snark mostly. Hopefully the content puke will be the nail in Ethan's coffin, but the amount of hate watch would help him survive a couple of quarters if all watch it." Okay, so let's briefly talk about this part of... This is not good news for H-free mods, because it does show that there are in the Discord, it does show that Denin's is aware of them, because Denin's produced evidence to Ethan Klein saying that this is communication. Right, so the question to Denin's that Ethan Klein's attorney asked, let me bring up the exact question. The H-free Snark mods claim Denin's commentary. So Denin's basically tanked them. I served requests for production on Denin.
I mean, that does sound like denims. Oh well.
On behalf of TEI. Some of the request documents and communication between H-free Snark mods and Denin's. Denin's then responded to Discovery by stating she did have responsive documents of said communications, but she didn't provide the complete Dardius. They had to do a little bit of sleuthing or investigation to figure out what Dardius was actually after. It seems like maybe their strongest case on H-free, and it doesn't even need that strong case, it's prima facie, right? And then their names become revealed. I would even argue that the damages in terms of their names being revealed, they seem far more scared about that than just $150,000. I'm almost certain they've paid their lawyer who didn't go to law school a chunk of that money already, given how often, how ready she is. The fact that like she was on hold for Casey Tron's apology and she was able to write that quickly is very shocking to me as a lawyer. Clearly it wasn't reviewed well. There's a lot of things I look at and I say, should this lawyer who didn't go to law school have sanctions? And sanctions, no lawyer wants to talk about sanctions to another lawyer, but this is bad. So back to what this means. There is prima facie evidence that they did talk. Some type of communication, and even Denims has admitted so much, right, by producing this evidence and leading Ethan Klein and his investigation team and his legal team to the right path. I would be very concerned if I was H3 Snark right now, because one of the moderators, and this guy is a moderator, has just been called out by name, by timestamp, and people are like, oh, well, that's not a ton of evidence. We're not in discovery. This is a prima facie case. We're not in discovery. Again, we're not trying to prove contributory copyright infringement. We're trying to prove there is a possible case. Anyway, let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Go Denims. Way to help the H3 Snark out.
Ooh, brother. So if the Kleins win, it's a big W for commentary in that we now have YouTube can stop auto dropping our shit, and they can now hinge it on was there malice as well. So it might give YouTube the tools to tune the automated removal of content in a way that better favors creators. Imagine if a robot's just like, hey, did you pause every few seconds? Okay, that's good. You can keep it going. Cause like me reacting to just little shit, like Beast Wars intro got dropped, even though I was like constantly bringing up references. I never shut the fuck up. Commentary off the fucking balls, bro. And like, meanwhile, that got taken off the platform. Imagine a world where they don't do that, where that's not the way things go. That sounds pretty legit. I like the way that sounds. That hits nice. That hits very nice indeeders. Indeeders, my skeeters. So I'd be excited for that kind of outcome. And there is a tiny chance we will hit such an outcome. That's not like a given, but you know, if it doesn't get settled and it does go through the courts, we might actually see a better day for like just commentary folks, honestly. I think that's really based. A lot of folks try to paint it the alternative and say that it'll set precedent against, especially Denims, who says if she settles, which is entirely inaccurate and bullshit, because the settlement wouldn't result in a decision, so it wouldn't happen that way anyway, but also because it does what the Electronic Frontier Foundation was even pushing for, which is a higher barrier to entry to protect commentary. It may not do it in the way that they entirely like. I don't know what their opinion is on this, but it looks like a fucking W for us, y'all. Like an absolute W. I'm not even fucking Maldi. Like, it looks like we get a W societally. And the thing is, Denims misused her shit. And that is fucked up. But there's a teensy chance we might all luck the fuck out. And I'm genuinely excited for that day. Like, not at the outcome as it negatively impacts Denims. That sucks. I wouldn't want to root for anyone's failure, ever. Or them to have to pay, like, you know, millions of fucking dollars because legal fees are going to be a bitch and she's going to have to pay her lawyers for a long fucking time. But also, like, and honestly, it's like, this is a thing that we as a society might need. And so, GG, well done, good job, and lol kakwa, my dudes. Absolutely, lol kakwa. I guess TLDR just sucks to suck. That's all I got. Just sucks to suck. Maybe if it sucks to suck so much, don't suck. That's all. Okay, we're gonna try to run. Nope. All right, I'm going offline for the night. Thank you all very much for letting me be your burden and a complete and utter asshole. If you want the timestamps for our video again, anything we've reacted to, anyone we've watched, any ha-has or gawfas, then there's timestamps right the fuck there. Please take care. Please have a lovely one. Please enjoy your days. Thank you for letting me be your shithead streamer. I appreciate you all immensely. Y'all rock. Please be well. Night. Bye. Rawr!